Hello everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to another Monday trucking session. You know the deal. We're going to spend 2 hours carrying some shipments, having a chat. It's going to be a good time. I see a bit of commotion in chat from earlier. No idea what that's about, but whatever. Yeah, we're going to be trucking today. It's going to be a good time. Hope you enjoy it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You know the deal, I gotta get the music on. Let's get the music on. Yeah, baby. Hi, everyone. Hello. Oh, Ivy, thank you so much. That was the quietest... Wait, hold on. Was there even a... No, there wasn't even an alert there. Never mind. I'm hallucinating. I don't know why I heard the door sound. That was a watch streak, not a follow. Bizarre. 10 fucking watch streak. That's so awesome. Thank you, Ivy. Thanks for sticking around. It's awesome. Hello. Hello, everyone. When the semi cuts me off in traffic and I pull up my radio to play full volume bass boosted THX intros cheating on a CB radio. Oh, dear. Slight hearing damage. Mild aneurysm. Beautiful. All right, hello everyone. How's everyone doing today? This wonderful Monday. I had college off because it's some sort of national holiday, something or other, which is fine by me because I was watching Iron Lung last night and it was very late and I bussed in and out of the city, so I got home past midnight. I'm very glad I didn't have to wake up at 6:30 in the morning to catch my bus to then get back into the city to go to college. But yeah, it was great. Maybe we'll talk more about that a bit later, but oh man, Iron Lung, recommend going to watch it. It's so good. Ingrid, hello, welcome. Did they finally release a movie? Yeah, it started premiering in theaters Friday. Yeah, and apparently it's still going on through the rest of the week here in Ireland. I did not expect that it would actually be showing in Ireland, and yet it is. I am very pleasantly surprised. You will never get rid of me, threat. Alright, why is your Mini-U sipping right next to the PC? She's thirsty. It's not safe to have water by electronics? I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh shit. Oh no, that's not good. Hold on, there we are. Let's put that out. Sorry, that happens on occasion. No idea why. Must be crossed wires or something. Anyways, we're gonna get straight into the game, I think. Oh, no. We're not going to get straight into the game. I do actually have a small little thing to show off. A little announcement, you might even say. So, I had already mentioned that I was working on automation tooling for livestream VODs, so I could get the livestream channel back into gear, or the VOD channel back into gear. And if you're on the Discord, I already actually made an announcement about this. But things are very much underway. Things are looking very, very good. Even better than they did when I was talking about it during the Jamboree stream on Saturday. Oh, Ingrid's happy. Oh, that's awesome. Wonderful, wonderful. Hello, good to see you. But yeah, we've got some VODs. We got some VODs ready. So here is the VODs channel. These are all the VODs that were already available going up to the birthday Jamboree in July. There are many more since then. These are the ones that have become available over the past few days since I started releasing them. But we have a couple more, just a couple more streams that are scheduled to go live over the coming days or weeks. We are up to the entirety of Signalis is ready to go. So if any of you had missed the Signalis streams or missed any part of it, they will be very soon available to you within the next couple weeks. I'm trickling these out day by day. I don't want to dump them all out at once. But yeah, VOD heads are going to be eaten real good. We are effectively doubling the amount of VODs that are available just in this batch alone. And there's a lot more to come. Oh, sorry, not with this batch. There's a couple more that don't have thumbnails yet, actually. That's the main barrier. Everything else, oh, Vodular is such a good piece of software. I'm so glad I made it. There are so many more. In fact, I'm actually going to check exactly how many more VODs that there are that are just awaiting a thumbnail. Let me have a gander at that real quick. Just privates videos. How many we got? There's still 15 VODs due to go live. And that's, again, those are just the ones that are uploaded. There are a couple more that still aren't uploaded yet. We currently have everything up to not including the Jamboree in November. So, like, we're getting scarily close to catching up with backlog because, if you recall, there weren't that many streams in December. So that's going to take, like, no time at all. January, I started in the second half of the month, so again, very few streams there. And we've only just started February. It could be like a matter of days. Well, okay. I will want to be focusing a little bit more on college stuff, so I might not be as ramped production-wise, but certainly over the weekends, I'll have time to knock the rest of the stuff out. We are going to be caught up to backlog very, very, very soon. It's looking like... I used very, very rough napkin math on this. I think we'll have everything certainly up to, like, today by sometime in March, I think. And by April, I think, we will absolutely be in continuum. So the idea is I do a stream, I put on my NAS, I don't have a thumbnail animation thing, so it might not be exactly next day, but it will certainly be within, like, the next couple days, because it does not take long to slap a new thumbnail together, especially for episodic content, because I have templates that I can very easily reuse, especially for episodic stuff. In fact, I knocked out all the Signalis thumbnails in, like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes tops, and most of that time was just spent finding a nice frame to use as the background for it. I have been pondering a tool which could not automate that process. I don't think I will ever be able to fully automate thumbnails because that is kind of I need my creative eye to make them still look nice. But certainly we will have them streamlined. So it's going to be very, very easy for me to make them in, yeah, maximum a couple minutes per video. Most of the time is genuinely just spent looking for that frame. So yeah, I'm excited. I hope y'all are excited as well. Yes, indeed, VOD heads are going to be eating so good. Worth noting, actually, we're going to have playlists for pretty much everything that's coming out. So, in fact, actually, Voxel Eras is not a public playlist yet. It is now. So, pretty soon, once all the Voxel Eras streams are out, all 4 of them to date, those will all be available in a nice little playlist for you to go through if you feel like checking it out. Though I do recommend you also get it on Steam because it's a very cool game made by a single indie developer, and she's very cool. We've chatted a bunch. She'd even joined in some of the streams, which was really, really cool. And we had a good chat about that as well. It was very nice. Definitely recommend it. But yeah, I'm jazzed. Hope you're jazzed. I certainly am. We are now going to get into the trucking. That was the main announcement I wanted to cover for today. I should actually, while we're talking about the VOD channel, yes, if you do want to go watch VODs, because we are now, uploading new ones, you can check out the VODs channel with this link right here. You can go visit on YouTube. They're all gonna be there. They're not all there now, but they will be there very soon. And actually, if you want lots of updates on that, you can then check out the Discord with this link over here. I'm not gonna spam it this time. You can go to the Discord over here. Once we are in Continuum, I will definitely be making an announcement on Discord about that. So, yeah. Gonna be awesome. VODs alert. This is not a drill. They're releasing VODs. They're doing it. That's crazy. Yeah, it's a good time. It's a good time. I'm waiting for Vulkan shaders to process before the game actually starts. Not a matter. They just finished. Okay, cool. I think I got the rest of my stuff going. Something I have been thinking about a little bit while I'm getting all these VODs up, I am having to go through, like I said, I have to go through VOD footage at least a little bit just to find a decent thumbnail choice. But I have been thinking about like a proper highlights video of some of these games that I've played so far. It's tricky because I feel like I'm not sure for, like, depending on the game, how much I have to add necessarily. I can go into like, oh, my journey playing it or whatever. I don't know how interesting that is. Maybe for you it's interesting, but for me, I don't know. It is! It's time to drink water. Let me quickly just get the game up before we do that. There's no game. Let me find the game. Game. Windows. This one. There we go. We have game. Beautiful. We'll pause the music. Get in here. Yes, it is time to drink water. You know the deal. If what? Really? I didn't expect that to happen. One moment. Let me actually get my credentials. I can't believe that just happened. Has it been that long? No, surely. We played ECS last week. All right, let me get my World of Trucks credentials real quick. Yes, please remember my password. I do not know why you logged me out in the first place. Oh, you also can't hear the music. Let me... I always forget this. I mute my desktop audio channel, like, just in case, but I really should, especially for solo streams, I should just keep it on. World of Trucks is so ass. Technical difficulty in a Euro Truck stream. You would think, we've done a lot of these streams, you'd think I'd have the formula kind of nailed by now, but... Ooh, also, I've not been keeping track of the number of truck streams I've done up until, you know, now, sorting out the VODs and whatever. I think we're approaching like the 10th, if this isn't already the 10th truck stream. We have a lot of them, and I am actually numbering them by part. So that's pretty fun. I mostly, it was something that I was pondering to myself for a little while. I was like, do we want, because they are episodic in a way, but it's not like an episodic narrative. So like, do I need to use part numbers? I decided, you know, it's actually, it makes sense. It's much easier to like refer to a specific Euro Truck Simulator VOD if there's like a certain highlight you have from it, if there's actually part numbers involved, because otherwise it's just, oh, one of the Euro Truck streams. Which one? Here's the exact link, I guess. Anyways, what was it? Yes, water. It's time to drink water. You know the deal. If you have water with you, you should drink it. And if you don't have water, you should go get some, because water's good for you. Let me drink. Let me drink that. You must log in with your Microsoft account to drive truck. No, this isn't Forza. It's okay. God, Microsoft sucks, man. Just in general. They, like, me when I receive a product and have to not and shitify it for 2 fucking seconds. Did I get charged? I didn't get any fuel, did I? Oh, I might have just about topped up before I saved. Okay. Setting every stream a part number, some shit. Oh, God. I do like an ISRC system, but specifically, that's... You know, that actually sounds really funny and could be worth doing for the bit, but it would purely be for the bit. So I don't know. Would be funny, though. Okay, 15 tons of motorcycles from Milan to Bern. Sure, let's go to Switzerland. Why not? Our Melody stream database. We kind of have something like that now, in a manner of speaking. I mean, the concept of like, you know, what is a database is like kind of ambiguous sometimes, especially when you get into like the nitty-gritty of data management. Technically, my streams are indeed in a database by virtue of, you know, they're indexed in my file system, and especially now with Vodular and such, I have like metadata files for each stream. So there is like a decent amount of content in there, and at some point I might build something that can like properly read through that and like present it in like one big collection sort of way, just basically like a Vodular web UI front end or something. And as much as I want to build like less web apps and more dedicated desktop apps, I think it might make a lot more sense in this case, because I expect it to be like a service that runs on my NAS. It just makes sense to make it be a web service then, because, you know, everything's already there on another computer. If it's something local, like my thumbnail app that I want to build at some points, like that makes sense to be specifically on the client system. That makes sense. Is that the thing with the website with the database of all the music held under it? You mean like my website? Oh, I actually didn't think about that. See, when I was talking about a database, I meant like just for my own use. But if you're referring to like a database on like rmelody.space, I have not thought of that actually. And that is a really interesting proposition, because I do index all of my music like that. I could build a system that automatically indexes my streams like that. It's more a question of like, is it necessary? Because I haven't felt a need to do that with my main channel stuff at all. I don't know, is there that much to gain from me doing so? It would look cool, but ooh, tabs to sort by game, name of stream, the day, etc. Well, I mean, breaking that down specifically, sorts by game, I am going to have playlists on YouTube. Ooh, Henry K is leveled up. Nice. I am going to have playlists on YouTube for every game or like major stream category that I've got. So I already have playlists for all the art streams. We have a playlist coming for Voxel Eras. We have one coming for Signalis. Outer Wilds, Stray already has one. You name it. So sorting by game, we absolutely already have that. The name of the stream, I mean, YouTube has a search feature, and even like within the channel specifically, so that is kind of covered. The exact day, I only do one stream a day maximum, so yeah, I don't know. I think YouTube kind of covers me for a lot of what you might need in that area. And it's also worth noting, like, I do not expect the VOD channel to get a whole lot of views. Certainly for at least the next, frankly, couple years. I expect many of the videos on that channel to sit there with absolutely 0 views and nothing else, because catching it live is a lot more interesting, I feel, because you actually get to be like part of things. The VOD channel is mostly for archival purposes, so if you missed something, you can go back and catch it there once the Twitch VOD expiration period has ended and whatever. My cat just walked over my mouse. That you could have caused a crash. You could have caused me to crash, cat. Did she? She just hit play on my music. Did she lean into my stream deck? She fucking did. Her ass fucking played my playlist again. This fucking animal. God damn. Alright, well, she's situated now. She hopefully will not bump into my stream deck anymore, so hopefully that doesn't happen again. That was kind of funny, though. ASCAP? That's ASCAP? I don't know what that is, unfortunately. You're gonna have to clear that up with me a little bit. We love it when cats cause automotive accidents. Let the cat drive. I'm looking at her right now. She looks far too fucking lazy to drive. Like, she's curled up underneath like a part of my desk. It's got like shelves on it. She's curled up underneath one of the shelf levels and is just conking out. She's just resting. So, no, I feel like it would be a very bad idea to let her drive. She wouldn't be nearly motivated enough. Yeah, so things are looking really good in the stream VOD department. I'm delighted. A thumbnail app would be very interesting. I have some cool ideas for how I would make that. And it would be, I think, a lot more useful for a lot more people than Vodular is at the moment. Because Vodular is kind of built... I mean, I've made it very... not extensible. I've made it very customizable. I'm going to go in here just so I get the area completion stuff. It just occurred to me, I don't even have a load on me yet. Am I going, like, all this way just to go get the item? Ooh, did I make a mistake? I did. I did make a mistake. Oh, you know what? I can still go here. You know, I'm gonna go this far. I'm gonna go this far just so I can get these two areas. Yeah, I didn't actually filter to my current location when I selected the order. That's unfortunate. Interesting that I thought 18 grand was like a really good deal for a shipment. Is that a specific thing for the Swiss-Italian area, or does that apply to a lot of other places as well? Because that might be interesting if I'm looking to grind a whole bunch of money. I might just hang around in Italy and Switzerland. ASCAP is basically an organization that licenses performance rights of music held under it to broadcasters, streaming services in different venues. Oh, interesting. Huh. So kind of like ISRC, maybe? That's not the organization, I think that's just the name of the code, but like all music has ISRCs associated with it. All of free-to-play has ISRCs. Interesting. It's essentially like a unique identifier for that particular master, is how I understand it. I'm gonna go in here because I want to overtake. Get out the way. Thank you. Bye, bus. Whoops. Be cool to play a bus simulator. I'm very into the trucking right now, but yeah, playing a bus simulator could be pretty cool. That could be enjoyable. The mods have ignored my silly request. Oh yeah, you were asking for a poll. What was the poll for? Or a prediction? What was the prediction for? I didn't actually catch that part. I missed that too. Yeah, at least I'm getting free roam XP. That's nice. I mentioned last stream, I've been getting really into real-time strategy games, RTS, lately. They are quite cool. I've been playing a lot of... Retro Commander in particular has piqued my interest. Mia is trying to coax me into playing StarCraft 2. I have heard that Hearts of Iron 4 specifically is pretty good, and Age of Empires, I think, 4 as well. I think those are both pretty good. And for a classic, what was it, Supreme Commander and Command and Conquer, those are like the classic. Whoa! Couldn't have told me a little bit earlier I'd have to be in that lane? Prediction for if you pay off the in-game loan this stream? Shit, let me see. Can we make 60 grand in a day in a single stream? Well, specifically within the next hour and a half. Ah! Sure, fuck it. Yeah. We'll say it. We'll say that. We'll do the poll, I think. We'll do the prediction. What was I saying? I don't remember. I was talking about Vodular for a bit, but then I was talking about something else. I don't remember. Let's go gambling! Woohoo! Oh, yes, RTS. Yeah. I've been playing RTS a bit lately. I don't have an immense amount of time. Certainly recently, over the past few days, I haven't had an immense amount of time. Ooh, I just realized I'm hauling in, actually, increasing amounts of money for my drivers. That might be doable. And they're leveling up. Okay, things are looking really good, actually. All the way, yes. Damn. All in on paying off the loan. Interesting. Okay. We'll ignore the fact that I'm taking a massive fucking detour. Like, I'm not earning money for the driving I'm doing right now. I'm earning a lot of XP, but I'm not earning money for it. For what it's worth. But it might be possible. It might be possible. Okay, do I have to go off to the side here? No, I keep going. All right, great. Works for me. Yeah, RTS games. I haven't had a crazy amount of time to play them super recently, because Iron Lung was one. I'll talk a bit more about Iron Lung, I think, later in this stream. It was very good, though, if you want my immediate review. My one-word review has been rad, but I've got, obviously, more complex thoughts than that on it. Overall, I think it's really good. But yeah, RTS games, those were really interesting. And I would be very interested in bringing them to streams in some way. Yes, Iron Lung is the new Markiplier movie. Yes, indeed. Notably, okay, yeah, whatever, we're pivoting now. I think I got most of the RTS stuff out of the way. They are interesting. I would like to play some on stream. I've been thinking about it. Overall, I think they would be better multiplayer candidates, so they'd be really good for Jamboree. But we would also need a bunch of people that are minimally willing to learn how to play an RTS, because I didn't necessarily start from zero when I got into them. I have played RTS games before, it just didn't stick long term, mostly because I didn't have anyone else to play those specific games with. But for Jamboree, it could be really cool. I would be into that. So yeah, Iron Lung, yes, independently produced and distributed by Markiplier. I think brought in a studio. I don't remember the name of the studio, so if anyone could pop that in chat, I would greatly appreciate it. That'd be really cool. But yeah, independent movie, and a huge thing about it, with all of that, you know, indie production, self-distribute. I need to hammer this point home. Did not go through a major publisher or anything, at least from what I'm being told. Still managed to break, I think we're probably at like $20 million US in box office. Opening fucking weekend. Which is absolutely insane. That is so fucking cool. Markiplier did a stream, I think on Saturday, I want to say, like, trying not to well up with tears because of how fucking cool of an accomplishment that is. I am so fucking proud of the guy. That is so amazing. He's apparently going to give additional comp to all of his staff who are involved as well, which is like, he's just such a fucking cool guy. He did a whole victory lap about it as well, and he fucking earned every bit of that. That was so cool. Yeah, the emergency announcement stream, I think is what it was called. Saw that on my recommendations. I recommend watching it, honestly. It's 20-something minutes, but it's just such a beautiful, heartfelt 20 or so minutes. It's absolutely well worth it. Ooh, my lights aren't on. No, my lights are on. I just didn't have my brights. That's fine. Yeah, so fucking cool. Watched the movie with a whole bunch of college friends. It was originally just like 3 of them. I did not know it was in our theaters. I knew it was going to be in a bunch of US ones. I was convinced it wasn't going to make it over the Atlantic Ocean. And then I find out, no, 3 of my friends already booked tickets days ago. So I'm like, okay. I managed to book a seat right next to them. We had like most of our college friend group go in, and we all watched it together. It was so good. It was amazing. 21 million the first weekend. I heard conflicting numbers. Yeah, I heard like a 17 point something thousand and a 21,000. Or sorry, million. But I couldn't find a source for the 21 million, so that's what I settled on. But yeah, 21 million US dollars. I imagine that's global box office, right? Yes, and I'd forgotten to mention that part. 3 million USD budgets. So they profited like 18 mil. The workers' comp on that is fucking crazy. That is amazing. Roughly 7 times this budget on the first weekend on an indie movie. Like, can you give me a better fucking success story than that? That is incredible. Yeah. 7x budget on opening weekend. And you know what? It fucking earned every cent of it. It is a wonderful movie. It is great. So good. If you are able to, I strongly recommend going to watch it. I mean, obviously, a couple warnings. Like, if you're squeamish about horror stuff, if you're like very easily spooked and you think it might be too much for you, like, no pressure. But if you are able, it is well worth the watch, and I think you will appreciate it artistically, just emotionally. It's very impactful. It's very well written. My spoiler-free review is it did a lot of what I was hoping it would do and what I assumed it would do. Because I feel like I've got a vague idea of how Markiplier would write a movie like that, because I watched him play Iron Lung originally years ago, and I vaguely recall his only real criticism of the game was that the actual, like, the world, the story, the background of, like, what you are doing, why you are doing it, is infinitely more terrifying than the actual gameplay itself. That's the impression that I got. Because the game itself... look, the game's been out for so long. I will lightly spoil the ending of the game. Yeah, it was originally a game. A one-man indie game project, which is like another amazing fucking part of that. Can you imagine being a solo game dev who's just like making this cool little indie romp in like a tiny little space that has like all spooks and scares and whatever, and some big shot YouTuber comes around, super kind and sweet big shot YouTuber, but big shot YouTuber comes around and plays it, and a couple of years later makes a full feature-length film about it, over 2 hours by the way, and it breaks fucking 20 million in box office in the opening weekend. You can't make that shit up. You fucking can't. That's so fucking cool. That's like the life achievement to beat all life achievements. Holy shit. You can't beat that. Yeah, so cool. And wholly deserved. Wholly fucking deserved. The team did a wonderful job. It's absolutely incredible. All of the actors did an amazing job. Of course, most of it is focused on Mark playing the main character. He did an incredible job as well, and it's been remarked by a bunch of other people that he did an amazing job. I could see him doing a great job acting, though. I mean, just look at how he presents about himself in his videos. Like, he is a character. He plays a fine character, and I very much admire that. I like to think that I've been doing something kind of similar in my own little way. I do like to be, like, open and genuine and whatever. I don't want to get parasocial by any means, believe me, but, you know, being able to just level with people is like, yeah, just have, like, a human conversation and whatnot. But if I'm entertaining, I want to entertain. I will put on the character. I will put on the voice. I will do whatever I feel I need to do to, like, really sell the presentation or what have you. And I feel like he is also very into that, is very well versed in doing that, and ergo can do quite a bit better of a job than even I could. Even I could, you know what I mean? I'm going to go into the shoulder to cut you off. Lamau, I'm so glad I turned off traffic violations. But yeah, it's a phenomenal movie with an even more phenomenal success story. It's so fucking cool. And the thing is, that's opening weekend. It's still showing in my local theaters in Ireland for the rest of the week. It may still be here on the next week, depending on what goes on there. Because, I mean, I'm going to go see it a second time. I booked tickets to go see it again. I saw it last night. I'm going to see it again Thursday nights. Like... And fuck it, you know what? I might just go see it the week after. Because, you know, supporting indie media is like a really big thing for me. I'm really big into doing that. But also, it's just like, it's also a great movie. It's like, yeah. Also, it would just be so fucking funny to see an independently produced and distributed movie hit like top of worldwide charts. I mean, it is top of worldwide charts. I think it's number 2 to a movie called Send Help, which is like big AAA blockbuster situation. So like, yeah, that's gonna be number 1, sure. But fuck, man, it's so cool. It's so cool. I live for shit like this. This is why, like, I love a lot of the indie game scene. Some of them just make it super big, and you have these wonderful success stories from people who started with very, very limited budget, who end up making absolute, like, ass loads off of it, and are able to do so many other cool projects from there. Because you think about it, if you're starting an indie game studio, it's a massive risk. It's a huge, huge, huge risk embarking on a massive indie project, like a game. You gotta understand, like, how much goes into making an indie game. You're talking about, depending on the depth of it, you're talking about art, you're talking about design, you're talking about music, you're talking about writing, you're talking about actually developing the gameplay mechanics. Like, there's so much that goes into that. There's so many disciplines, which is why, like, I would love to make an indie game, but I always get super heavy-handed on scope and whatever, which freaks me out quite a bit, and I get super lost in the sauce, I guess, and the project doesn't kind of see the light of day. But I do have immense respect for everyone who has done that. Just, like, from the get-go, if you've done it, you should be proud, 100%. If you've done it and you've managed to, like, catch wind with it and, you know, fly off and whatever, like, if you end up being really successful off of that, it's so heartwarming. It is absolutely wonderful to see that. So yeah, I got a lot of respect for indie media. I love to see it succeed, and I am certainly, you know, for the price of admission, I am happy to spend a little bit of extra money to see it 2, maybe 3 times. But yeah, we are talking about Iron Lung. It's not licensed in any French theaters yet. So I have heard. I find that very interesting. I have also heard that it is not in French theaters, which is, whoa, very disappointing. I don't know, is it late to the party or whatever? I found it bizarre. I'd heard someone else say that, yeah, it's not in French theaters. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm in Ireland. Like, you would think it would hit France before Ireland. Let's be real. France is probably a little bit more of a noticeable player on, like, the global sphere. I don't get how we got it and you guys didn't. I hope they do release it in French theaters soon. What I would personally recommend, if you can get in touch with your local theater, do. Because that's what I had done. I have no idea if it ever had an impact. Like, for all I know, my theater was going to show it anyways. For all I know. But I personally reached out and messaged them. I emailed them and I was like, hey, look, there's this movie, Iron Lung, made by an independent YouTuber who's got, like, a huge following and whatever. I would love to see it. I know, like, you had a really big box office success with the Five Nights at Freddy's movies. There's going to be quite an intersect I can envision in audiences there. Would very strongly recommend, you know, putting it out, and I would be delighted. I would personally absolutely go to see it. They never got back to me, which I initially took as quite disheartening. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. They don't answer their emails. They probably don't even read them unless it's a support ticket or something. But then I found out they were showing it. And, like, we've got my quote-unquote local theater, it's a theater chain, but it's an Irish exclusive theater chain. So, yeah, I would say see if you can reach out to them, because I can almost guarantee you, especially if it's self-distributed, if your theater reaches out to the guys behind Iron Lung and asks for a license to play it in their theaters, they would be more than happy to let y'all see it. 100%. I don't see why they wouldn't. Yeah, but big French theater franchises mostly get rights to big studio movies. Well, yeah. Most big theaters. Like, again, mine is a chain. Mine's an Irish chain. Like, we're also showing Send Help and what have you. They literally showed an ad for it before Iron Lung started playing. So we absolutely do typically get that. Iron Lung is one of the most indie things that I have seen play in there. Someone had actually mentioned that apparently Chainsaw Man played in there a while back, which is really cool. But my overall take would be, you know, don't ask, don't get, you know? If your theater doesn't know that there's demand for this, they may never look into it. But if you do, you know, speak your mind about it, if you go to them directly and say, hey, I would really like to see this, can you please show this? I'm sure a lot of other people would be very interested in seeing it too. I mean, show them the box office numbers. Fucking just do that. Show them the box office numbers and go like, here, you guys are shooting yourself in the foot by not playing this. Like, you would make so much money. Abso-fucking-lutely. Easy peasy. Hi, Julia. Welcome, welcome. After seeing my nearest one is showing it. You're UK-based, so I would say yes. Absolutely. I know a couple UK friends who are going to see it. UK theaters would absolutely have it. There's, like, no doubt about it. They had it opening day. We had it opening day. Hello, Sarah. Welcome. But here be the dog. Yeah, Iron Lung. Fantastic. Oh, I think I got a little distracted because I don't know if I gave like my full thoughts on the movie. Yeah, my spoiler-free review. It did a lot of what I thought and hoped it was going to do. I vaguely recall Mark remarking that the game itself was scary, yeah, but this backstory behind it was a lot more terrifying. I mean, the confines that you're in that game are also terrifying, but compounding that with... I'm just gonna stay in this lane, actually. Compounding that with the world that you've been thrust into is even more terrifying. It does a wonderful job of setting that up. So the movie, what I expected out of it was that it would spend... Whoa! Good grief. Pull in. Wait. Hold on. Where? What? Where is this? There, yeah? Okay. Ship it. I don't even have anything. I haven't collected the shipment yet. God, they were pissed off with me there. I've never heard beeping like that. I thought there was a bomb on my truck or something. Whatever. Yeah, I'll pull in, assholes. Cool. Anyways. Yeah, so what I hoped it would do and what I expected it would do is play on that a lot more, you know. We're gonna work on the... Yeah, can I fuel, please? Oh, I gotta stop the engine, right? I figured it would spend a lot less time focusing on the gameplay, like what you see when you're just normally playing Iron Lung, and would focus a lot more on the world building and, you know, characters, because that's a unique thing. The game itself doesn't really have characters, it's just you. But the movie does, and it spends a lot of time focusing on those, you know, the elements that make a movie, and that I adored. Because if you think about a lot of video game movies, a lot of them will just go, hey guys, look, it's the characters from the game that you like, it's the world from the game that you like. But it's like, okay, where's the movie part of this? You know, it focuses too much on You know, the game. It focuses too much on the game. That's the simple essence of it. And it doesn't spend nearly enough time thinking about broader stuff that you would actually really, really give a shit about if you're going into theaters to watch a movie. Like the characters, like the world, like the consequences of people's actions and stuff. Yeah, the FNAF movie does something incredibly similar, and I was really happy that it did that. I honestly, there were things about the FNAF 2 movie that were like silly and goofy. Same with the original FNAF movie. Like, that's fine. I still think the movie was plenty fine. It is absolutely like a teen horror movie at most in terms of its spook factor and whatever, but I think it's allowed to be that. Like, I think when you think about the broader context of the game franchise, vehicles not in perfect technical states, be more careful next time. Oh, because I like hit a couple things? Yeah, get fucked, whatever, I don't care. Yeah, I think the FNAF movie is allowed to be a little bit silly, and I think it still does it remarkably well. It kind of wears it on its shoulder, and I think that's perfectly fine. Iron Long does take itself quite a bit more seriously, which it deserves to, and it does a remarkably good job of doing that. Like, so much about the movie. I loved it. It was great. I can't wait to go see it a second time because, so I have heard, one of the friends that actually joined us had already seen it on opening night. So watching it again, he had a lot of very interesting thoughts developing from that on a second viewing. So I'm really interested to get a lot of that myself. Could definitely help flesh out my thoughts on the movie a bit more. And critically, you know, dig up a couple things that I was less certain about, a couple of the questions that I had on first viewing, things I might have missed. Insert that one fake FNAF movie clip, 3 references per second. Mike, if you're going to take this job, you're going to have to spend 5 nights at Freddy's. Okay, can I bring my sister to the location? Yeah, sure, that's fine. But believe me, this is going to be some kind of pizzeria simulator. I understand. Believe me, your help is truly wanted. Oh, that shit was so funny. Could I bring my sister to the location? Amazing. Cat, I need you to get off my desk. You're currently trying to rest on my keyboard. And you not do that. Thank you. Oh, the amount of times we made jokes of like, hello everybody, my name is Markiplier. He did not... He played his character remarkably well. Really, really well. He wasn't Markiplier, he was the character, which I adored. He's actually a really good actor. That's fine because it's the fast food of FNAF movies. Yeah, it's kind of cheesy, goofy horror romp. Yeah, I think it's allowed to be that. I think we are allowed to have that. Some critics are really fucking weird about shit like that. I am not fazed with stuff like that. I'm like, look, if the movie was fun, that's fine. You don't have to be super fucking serial all the goddamn time. If you want super fucking serial, go watch the super fucking serial movie. You know? Did you really expect going into FNAF, you know, a series of movies based off of an indie game franchise that has so many, like, Aperture Science tier corporate irresponsibility jokes in it? Did you seriously think it was gonna take itself that seriously in a film setting with an audience targeting, you know, teens and up? No. It was gonna be a fun, silly horror romp, and that's great. I think that's wonderful. I enjoyed it. I'll go see the third one. I'm down. I saw both the first two, and I'm happy to go see more. It was good. Oh, you're so Portuguese. Oh god, that'd be great. There's gonna be a third one. They teed it up for a third. Yeah. They actually, I gotta go. Do I gotta go here? Yeah, rest stop. Good. I'm glad I went here. Yeah, they teed it up for a third. They set it up for literally the FNAF 3 plot, is what I observed from it. We're totally gonna get a third. Are you serious? Think about what those movies pull in box office. They're gonna, like, milk the series dry. And I'll keep watching it until they get shit. That is A-okay with me. Cool, I don't need fuel, I just need the rest stop. Wait a second. Where am I? I drove right the fuck past these. I did not set my waypoint properly, and I have just gone all the way to Italy. Welp! That's a shame. Might as well take a job. What? Huh? Oh, right. Okay. That makes sense. Sure. The FNAF franchise truly is the plushie soaked in milk of movies, getting wrung out for all it's worth. I mean, there's been jokes for a while that the game franchise is like, it's the Fast and Furious of indie games, right? Like, even after Scott Cawthon has, like, taken his foot off the accelerator and has basically left it up to Steel Wool, like, Steel Wool are still gonna milk it. And, you know, I cannot blame them for milking it for all that it's worth. For as long as it is still pulling in money, sure, take the bag. Fuck it. People are still buying it. If you don't like that they're making more games, I have an amazing solution for you, and it's called not buying the games. Literally put your money where your mouth is. And if your mouth is saying no, don't give them the money. And I'm probably preaching to the choir, because, like, I don't know, I don't know if many of y'all watching me were necessarily buying the newer FNAF games. Personally, I checked out buying the games after FNAF 3. I have FNAF 1, 2, and 3 to my memory. I barely played 2. I had played 3, I think, to completion. FNAF 1, I think I got to night 6. I don't think I did like a super crazy night 7. I didn't do 420 mode, at least. I'm not that much of a tryhard, especially for horror games. But yeah, I kind of checked out at that point. I still, every once in a while, I'll drop in to see like, oh, what's the lore looking like? Ah, still labyrinthian and horrifying? Yeah, cool. All right, great. That's good to know. It's funny because my brother's still like more on the pulse of the lore than I am. So after coming out of the FNAF 2 movie, he was telling me about a whole bunch of stuff lore-wise that he picked up that I absolutely did not. He had mentioned like, oh yeah, they teed up the Mimic. I'm like, the fucking what now? And I forgot. Oh, wait. The Mimic, yeah. That's actually a part of the franchise and is like a core part of its current, like, the trajectory that it's going for story-wise. I thought that was a fucking, like, a different FNAF-style fan game that came up with the Mimic, to be completely honest. I had no idea it was actually part of mainline FNAF. That is crazy to me. The game really has, like, grown 3 heads at this point. My money where my mouth is? Okay, eats a coin. She's using the bird bypass lane. But would you drink me milk, throw me against the wall? We've had this conversation, Julia. I discovered the franchise right when FNAF 4 released. Wow, you like missed all of the initial hype for it. That's crazy. Watching Markiplier play it, kept up until Pizzeria Simulator, checked out when UCN 7020 was beaten. Yeah, because Ultimate Custom Night was supposed to be like the finale. Isn't that when Scott officially checked out and then it was like Steel Bull's problem? I'm pretty sure that's how that went. That's my recollection of events. The Mimic from critically acclaimed YouTube remix. My name is Henry. I made the Mimic. Genuinely, I heard about those bits and I was like, huh, alright, cool. I assume that this is, you know, a fan song for a fan game based off FNAF. No, it's based off fucking mainline FNAF. Which is nuts. Does the most... Hold on, like, what was it? Secret of the Mimic. Does that even include, like, the original FNAF cast? Like, does that have Bonnie, Freddy, Chica, Foxy? I do not recall them being characters in that particular stretch at all. I mean, even Sister Location it had, in terms of like its primary cast, different characters, but it still at least kind of nodded back to its original lineage, to my recollection. My loan installments are being paid. Wonderful. So the first night is never usually that bad in any of the games. I'm so happy that almost every country made an extra highway lane so Harpy Logistics can provide the best service. Just one more lane. And just for Bird. Chica is a character in Secret of the Mimic and Sis location, I think? Or at least she's mentioned as a rental animatronic in the secret website Easter eggs. Man, I remember when people were all fucking over the website Easter eggs. I do not have the time nor energy to be remotely fussed about any of that. I do not have stake in the game. When I was younger and I was just in like secondary school, yeah, I could dig into shit like that. Although I think even then I mostly left it up to, you know, YouTuber sleuths who did this as like their job for entertainment and whatever. So like I can generally rely on them squeezing out a lot more info than I could. Oh no.
It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water.
You did it. You fucking did it. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Where's my parking brake? There it is. Oh no. She did it. That's the first time that redeem's been pulled. She just fucking did it. It is time to drink water, but I do not recommend, for once, I do not recommend you do what I am about to do. This bottle is full. I should let you know. This is, hold on. I'm gonna check the contents right now. It's close to full. We got at least like 2/3, close to 3/4 in here. For reference, look up like I think it's the smaller LTT water bottle. I don't have like the big glugger jug, but I got like the tall one. That's like nearly completely full. All right. Bottoms up. In fact, actually, hold on, because this is going to take me a sec. Oh no. Let's just do that in... Uh-huh. Where the fuck is semi-bold italic? Yeah, that'll do. All right. Pour 1 liter of water in your diesel tank. Oh, Christ. All right. This is a bladder infection waiting to happen. Fuck me. I'm feeling so fucking hydrated. How much we got left? Oh, Christ. I think I drank like half the contents. We got a couple more. A couple more chugs. IV page me and said check the fucking channel. Oh Christ. That's water. I'm burping water. I can't wait for the Markiplier style hospital bed video from Ari in like 2 days. Oh. Hey, according to Wikipedia, at least you won't die of water intoxication. Oh, that's nice. That's good. Oh no. Oh, fuck me. I ought to be pissing for the next 3 days straight. I'm gonna have to take college off. I'm gonna get a doctor's note. I'll be real, if I need to take a bathroom break during the stream, I'm like going immediately. I'm pausing in the middle of the road and I'm just running. I do not want to risk this. You should drink like 4 cups of coffee to offset that. I don't want to die. You know what I should do is eat a lot of bread, because that'll soak up a lot of the water. Oh, fuck. I just noticed Rocket League car is witnessing this. Not in front of the Rocket League car. Eat a sponge. Oh, God. You're not gonna die, you're gonna min-max your vitals. My vitals were not meant to be min-maxed. I spend a lot of my days sitting in my fucking chair. I should not be min-maxing my vitals right now. Yeah, I thought you guys would enjoy the sound for the alerts. Oh. Oh, fuck. There's a tiny more left. That is the sound of an empty water bottle. It's gone. I drank the whole fucking thing. Oh, fuck. That's gonna kill me in the morning. Hey, on the upside, I'll wake up real early in the morning.
It's time to drink water.
No!
It's time to drink water.
I'm gonna go refill my water bottle. I'll be right back, guys. Okay. Right. That is a full bottle of water that I now have to drink again. You know the deal. If you have water with you, you should drink it, but not as much as I did. If you don't have water, you should go get some, but like a reasonable glass, you know, not a full fucking jug. Oh, fuck. I'm officially overhydrated. Oh, fuck. Just chugged my own 1 liter bottle in solidarity. That was kind of easy, to be honest, but that might just be because I'm on Spyro. I'm on Spyro as well. I'm fearful for my life. Oh. I was sweating after that, by the way. I had to switch clothes. Oh my god. Well, you keep on top of it, clearly. I do! I have I have one fucking tablet a day. Love you too, Julia. Man, they're really gonna call me the pisser after this. Good grief. Oh, I'm not gonna talk normal for the rest of this stream. The stream's about to turn to a chubby emu video? What? I've heard that name, but I don't see how that's relevant. I'm scared. What is this in reference to? Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's gonna make a fantastic clip later. Like, on shorts. Oh, man. She endured ultimate hydration. This is what happened to her bones. Oh, boy. Oy. Aria's increased her water percentage to at least 70% now. Yeah. My body has a lot more water content in it. I feel kind of lightheaded. That shouldn't be normal, I don't think. Not that is on call for work, but is watching your wife stream instead. Sorry, guys, I can't come to the stand-up. I gotta make my wife piss. I gotta drive my wife to drinking. Oh. Okay, evidently I have not watched a chubby emu video before. Why do I recognize that name? Maybe I have watched them, but I just, you know, didn't actually pay much attention to who made it. The patient, A, suffered from hyponatremia, meaning reduced presence of salt in the blood. Oh, fuck. That's fine. I can add more salt. That's fine. For those of you who don't know, most of the time when I have chips, I usually have like a decent amount of salt and vinegar on them. Alright, it's time to eat a packet of pure salt to counter the water. This is like the dietary equivalent of like, well, it says, you know, cook at 200 degrees for 20 minutes. But if I cook it at 2,000 degrees, I only have to cook it for 2 minutes. Okay, but salt is tasty. Not on its own. You're supposed to have other shit with it. Oh, fucking hell, man. Uh-oh. Okay, good. I didn't dink that. That's nice. They've ate the salt at the bottom of a pretzel bag. You're probably not supposed to do that. You put salt in your shit? No. Did I say something that gave that implication? Right. Cargo market. Just give me the bikes. just give me the bikes. I'm just spamming the button. My watch just buzzed. I've just been sent a YouTube link by LimeFox. Oh my god. You're supposed to have other shit with it. Oh, I see. You know what I mean. Where am I going? Turin. Yeah, that's not that far away. Yeah, I'm pretty close to that. Oh, what the fuck? They won that like 2 hours ago? Ah, shit. Oh, we breaking laws of the road with this one. We breaking speed limits. I'm so glad I tuned in today. A lot of you are here to witness the first ever drink all the water redeem. God. I'm glad you liked the sound to that one. I spent some time crafting what I thought would be the perfect sound to note that such a thing had just happened. I remember I heard it, so like my initial reaction was like, I know that song. That's important. Why is that important? Oh. I think there's also a little mix of like, huh, that's weird. How did that sound play? That sound's not supposed to play until somebody does the thing. And then I realized someone did the thing. And then I looked down at my bottle of water going like, oh, I have to do the thing. Breaking speed limits is the fun of ETS. True, exactly. Oh, man. You can give people weird Twitch badges for this. Oh, boy. Whoa. Easy. There we go. How long? I suppose we will be able to then measure quite accurately exactly how long it takes for water to be processed through my body. Because when it's done processing, I'm going to find out very quickly. Fucking hell. What a travesty. Okay. Oh wait, I think I misread the clock. I was reading my estimated time. I was reading my ETA. I wasn't reading the actual current time. Yeah, I'm totally gonna make this delivery. Easy peasy. Don't you worry about it. You can balance the load on your kidneys by chugging 1 liter of Monster. I don't want to die! Jesus. Drinking any amount of Monster on a good day, I feel like I could... I can imagine it, you know, melting my organs. You'll find out and it'll be abnormally transparent. Exactly! I'm really flushing my system with this one. Smile? Why are you all saying smile? Oh, because all of you are fucking Monster drinkers. You're built different, sorry. Oh boy, drinks 1 liter of white Monster and turns into one. Oh boy. Well, that was fun. There's a reason why that's a 1 per stream drop. That cannot happen more than once in a stream. I wonder, do I even have a bard to the week? I don't remember. Either way, I think the most concerning part is now that 1 person has afforded it, it's not going to be very long until a bunch of other people can afford it too. Because I know some of y'all are saving. I know the only reason that Julia was able to redeem it so soon is because of the amount of financial support she's given towards the stream. That unlocked a repressed memory. The first time I ever saw someone IRL drink Monster was college dudes in Ireland hanging out. So I was like, wait, cis people drink that? Amazing. I was already sitting at 54.4K before I put it all into the prediction. You better hope that pays out. Good grief. Do you imagine everyone just going 0 after that? Wow, that would suck. Maybe it'd be convenient to make the regular water redeem unavailable for a while after 1 liter water redeem, though. Twitch doesn't seem to really have a mechanism for that. You can limit a single redeem's, like, frequency, but having one affect the other, I don't know of a system for that. I would have to, like, build something custom, which, like, temporarily disables it, which is also an option, but, you know, that's dev work and whatever. I already spent so much time on Vodular, I think I'm gonna ease off a little on the stream development stuff. At least until I have like a lot more time on my hands. I have been thinking about like a massive... I'm not gonna say massive redesign, but a really nice polish up of a whole bunch of stuff that would look really fucking cool. I've been planning it for a while, but I would need a lot more time to dedicate to working on it, and I'm not even sure if I would have the time to do that within the college semester. It might be afterwards. So we're talking maybe like middle of the year or something. Okay, you're going too slow. We're taking the bird bypass lane. Let's go. See ya. Wouldn't be us if we weren't crazy. Flashback of internal monster training material leak. What? Interesting. Bird bypass lane is not fair game if there wasn't a bird on the road with you. Oh shit. Well, Ivy, you were there in spirit, no? Gotta go to sleep now. Alright, Ingrid. Have a good night. Pleasure having you around. Are Melly exhibiting Alberta driver tendencies once again? You're going too slow. Where's this guy hauling all this lumber? They're taking forever. Alright, yeah, we're good. Easy peasy. You can invite Bird to your roads for free right now. Smile. Oh boy. All you gotta do is open a convoy. Maybe for a jamboree. Alright. Oh. Oh Christ. Oh man. This reminds me of a fun idea that I had for a stream a while back. Was debating it for a while. I don't think like tonight would be a terrible night to execute on that fun idea, but in the future, I've been keeping something in the back pocket for a while. Euro Truck Jamboree too. I do actually want to have like one per year minimum. Frankly, if I can do two, that would be pretty nice, but at least one per year would be rad. And I only say as little as one per year because, you know, there's a lot of other things I might want to pack into Jamborees. There's a lot of other games out there, and I don't want to have it like purely focused on ETS. I'm not necessarily a trucking VTuber, it's just a thing that I happen to enjoy doing on Mondays. Excellento. Fantastic. Now, what deals have you got? Ooh, 15 grand. Don't mind if I do. Truck tuber. That's awesome. Fire, actually. You will scream once Bird appears behind you. I've already done this! Is that a police car? That would have been so funny if I crashed into him. V-Trucker, huge. Chat, can I convince my speech therapist that a truck jamboree is voice exercise? Huh. Oh! As in, like, taking part of it and interacting. I mean, sure. I don't see why not. Whee! My personal voice training has just been a combination of making music and, you know, these. The more you speak in the voice you want, you know, the better you'll get at doing it. Naturally, even. I was supposed to remember all the screaming and laughing at 2 a.m. last time. Ah, I see. A voice exercise, like actually working it out. Yeah. I feel ya. Julia is a puppy. That's true. That's real. What the hell was I talking about before that water redeem? I do not remember. Iron Lung was talked about for a while, but I think we finally wrapped that up. Talked about Vodular a bunch, but I think I'm kind of like done on that note. Talked about RTS games for a little while, but I kind of wrapped that thread up too. What more is there? Chat history doesn't go that far. Counterpoints. I have no awareness of my voice and when or how it fluctuates. This is my main issue and what I'm going to be working on. Oh, cool. Okay. Interesting, interesting. It's time for a hashtag new topic. That's true. That's very true. I wonder what there is to discuss. Oh, yeah. I did kind of start on this, but I did get distracted. I have been thinking for a while, especially as I've been working on getting these VODs out as I'm watching back through them, like, how might I go about because, you know, the VODs channel is more for archival purposes. I do not expect that to pull in, like, anything. I don't really expect it to pull in anything views-wise. I certainly don't expect it to pull in anything monetization-wise. I fully expect that to just be, like, this is my kind of time and money fire effort, which is partly why I'm trying to automate a bunch of it, that will not really gain me a whole lot in return. But my main channel, that's where I, like, actually expect to, you know, reel in a whole bunch of new people interested in watching my stuff and engaging. So I've been trying to think, like, oh, what game might suit? Do any of the things that I've done suit? Do I need to change my mentality about how I make videos? Do I need to play different games that are maybe a bit more suitable for be it a highlight reel or some sort of a video with a more narrative focus? You know, taking all of those clips and I attach a kind of story on top of it. That's what I've been thinking of for the past while. Because, like, say Signalis, for example, I don't feel like I would be adding anything new to the world by, you know, just making a video of, like, oh, here's highlight clips of me playing Signalis. Ooh, here's, I don't know, me doing a blow-by-blow of it. Like, I'd have to actually really dig into the text of the story, which is great and all, but I'm not a super big lore diver. I can kind of do full completes, you know? I like to 100% some things, but I'm not the kind of person to, like, really, you know, get my big pegboard out and start stitching all of these little lore bits together to make a really, really interesting video. Basically, like, even if I were to try, I'm not convinced I'm going to do better than a lot of the other people who I would have already watched doing this. Like, I've seen some really, really interesting takes on the Signalis storyline that I wouldn't have really come up with myself, and I don't feel like I really necessarily care to. Because, like, the game was wonderful. The videos these other people made were wonderful. I'm happy. I don't need to add anything more to it, so I kind of don't want to. Or at least it's certainly lower priority for me. I would be, you know, stretching myself more trying to do that, I feel. Ooh, I really want to overtake you, but I don't really see a whole lot of what's going on in front of me. Okay, we're fine. Cool. Counterpoint. Oh, wait, no, I already saw that. Let's scramble our brain and grab the shiniest idea to come out. Turn monetization on anyway and pull in 72 cents a month. So the problem is I can't. I actually can't try monetization because none of my channels currently meet the monetization threshold. I need a certain number of subscribers. I think it's minimal 1,000, so we're actually really close. We're at, like, nearly 820 subscribers at the moment. I think 819 last I checked my dashboard. So I think, to my memory, I only need 1,000, so we're really close, but I'm nowhere near the watch time requirements. That is much, much higher. I think it's like 40,000 hours in the past year or something. Some crazy number. And like the peak video did well, but it didn't do 40,000 hours well. Even my shorts, like a couple of them did blow up quite a bit and got like thousands of views, but that didn't translate to thousands of hours. They're shorts. So yeah, it's a much harder sell. Oh, for fuck's sake, I hate when they do this. Oh, I'm so glad it didn't get smashed into some invisible geometry. That would have really sucked. Well, that's exactly what I am, a lore digger. I don't know if I end up finding anything new. I just like diving in for the full depth of the lore. Yeah, like I'll dive in to the extent that the game lets me do so. So like Outer Wilds, I got super into the lore, like learning about the game world and learning about the characters. Like that was great. Signalis, very similar story. I was super interested. But I'm also like interested in, you know, completing the game. And then once I've completed the game, it's like, cool, right, we can wrap that up on a nice little bow. That is my experience. I've had it and I'm happy now. But, you know, going beyond that, I don't know. The humble bird that ate a tungsten cube. I saw a shorts tuber complaining about the monetization limits. Yeah. Like, it's rough. That said, it kind of makes sense because, to be clear, I recall the monetization requirements being a lot slimmer when I had originally started. For those of y'all who don't know. Ooh, we're good, but it is certainly complaining. That's fine. For those of you who don't know, you know, my first online presence is not Ari Melody. I've been under different names prior to that. And I did have monetization on an old channel years ago that I'd later abandoned for a whole bunch of reasons. And I had monetization because at the time I had signed on to a multi-channel network because I was fucking, I don't know, 15 or 16 or something, and I wanted to be able to make money off of stuff. And I'm pretty sure I made a grand total over the entire time that channel existed, no more than like $10 USD. I made like nothing. So the requirements that YouTube has kind of makes a lot of sense. Because even if you were to just monetize from day one, you're not going to get anything out of it. Like, I don't think a lot of people understand how few pennies ad revenue can be. For comparison, I made no more than $10 off of, it was a couple years worth of YouTubing. And this is at a time when I had a lot more time available to me. Now, I was younger and kind of stupider, so it's not like I was making my best work or anything, but I was leaning into, you know, whatever I thought would succeed and what I thought worked well for me as well. I don't think I ever super pushed myself to make things I just outright did not want to make. I need to go here, actually. Don't know why I need to go here, but I apparently need to go here. Yeah, so I made like a tenner off of that entire time, a couple years of making YouTube videos. I had switched to a new channel, new alias and everything later down the road, and I didn't really make much money off of that either. Ever since I became Ari Melody, and I've presented myself as such, I have now released music under that name. I do streams under that name. And I have some more opportunities that I've been looking into for the future for how I could, you know, make money off the stuff that I do. Obviously in the, you know me, hopefully you understand, in the most mutually beneficial way possible. You know, the absolute last thing I want to do is be scraping pennies off of viewers. That really sucks and is an ick and makes you feel gross even talking about it. But even just in the time I've been doing this, you can use yellow telepass lanes. Oh, interesting. I don't know. I just look at whichever one has the Euro thing because I imagine I have to go through there. Anyways, so in the time that I have been operating under, you know, this name, doing the stuff that I do, I have made orders of magnitude more money than I ever made in my past history of creating stuff combined. Like, easily, multiple times over. It's been absolutely fantastic, and I am, again, so fucking grateful for it, because I get to then look at this and go, holy shit, this is possible, you know? It's very easy to look at big shot successes who started from very little and built it up to like this massive, you know, not even a media empire, but just a really successful career as an indie creator. You see a lot of success stories like that, but it's a whole other thing to actually succeed on your own, you know? Because it takes quite a bit. And it takes quite a bit that sometimes I don't feel like I actually have a bit of, I don't know, whatever the magic sauce is to, you know, it takes creativity. It takes a lot of effort. It takes time and care and love to do this kind of stuff and do it well. That's a critical thing. You can be a slop tuber a lot more easily than what I'm doing right now. And there's a big reason why I don't upload a whole lot outside of my streams. My streams are the most frequent thing that I do because they're a lot easier to do. And I'm very thankful that while they're much easier things to do, people seem to really enjoy me doing them. So I will continue doing them because, I mean, fuck, if it's easy and we enjoy it, then I am happy out. That is perfectly okay with me. In terms of videos, that shit takes a while. And I have a fairly strict kind of threshold for quality with that kind of stuff. Like, I've had video projects that I've embarked on and I have actually just dropped. Not because they were necessarily bad, but just as like, I think I can do better. I think I do better than this. I think it can be more interesting, you know. But it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of work and time, which I have been woefully short on through the college semester, which is partly why I'm really excited for the future of things as well. Because, like, I'm already doing really well right now. And once college is over, I'm going to have a lot more freedom to do a lot of the things that I want to do. Because I'll have a solid income from a well-paying job that's like more or less locked in at this point. I'll have a lot more time because... hold on, let me just make sure I got the order right. I'll have a lot more like resources, especially in terms of like money from a decent paying job. I'll have a lot more time on my hands because I won't have, you know, the horrendous, pitiful excuse of work-life balance that college life lends you to actually allocate to working on really cool, interesting projects. And those things in tandem alone, because I feel like I've already got a lot of the motivation to do really cool stuff. I just do not have the time to do a lot of that cool stuff. That's kind of been my linchpin, my Achilles heel for the past while. And I feel like once that's out of the way, I'm going to be in a really, really good spot. Like, I would expect by the end of this year, I'm going to have a lot of other really, really cool things done. I can't necessarily tell you what they are. I'm going to spend a lot of time once I'm done college actually trying to evaluate, okay, what is it that I want to do now that I have this time and I have the resources? We'll figure it out. But I think it'll be absolutely well worth it, and it's going to be really, really fucking cool, and I hope you'll enjoy it. And I certainly hope I will too, because that's going to be the most important parts, for me at least. From all I've heard, monetization is even more worthless now than it was like 10 years ago. Oh, yeah. Ad revenues always sucked, but the biggest issue with monetization, or ad monetization in particular, is because just ads in general, it's a contest of attention, basically. And the problem is there's only so much attention in the world. And at a certain point, people can kind of smell when you're desperately grabbing for that attention. And if it's something they don't even fucking care for, like an ad for a product they didn't want to buy from a company they didn't want to hear about, like, that gets really miserable. That's why so many of us have ad blockers. And to be clear, again, I actually probably make more ad revenue off of Twitch than I ever have on YouTube, to be completely honest. And I'm here to tell you, turn on an ad blocker. Install an ad blocker. If you are so keen on making sure I get money for my streams. Do not fucking rely on ad revenue. You know, if you are really, really so keen, and please assure me that you can actually afford to do so, because that's another big thing for me. I do not want you, like, you know, pulling out money you don't have to support someone you don't know super personally or whatever. But where was I going with that? Oh shit, I'm already tired. Okay, well I guess we're gonna be doing this while falling asleep. That's fine. Yeah, turn your ad blocker. If you are so keen on supporting me, and more importantly can afford to do so, I literally worded that way on my website too. Buy my music. You know, subscribe on Twitch if you must. In the future, I have actually been discussing this with Julia in particular. I have been curious, and I think this was following bringing it up on a stream. I am curious about the idea of starting a Patreon, and I have been very, very reluctant to even think about that for a while. And the reason for that is because, well, the time. Remember, I don't have a whole lot of time to make a whole lot of stuff. So my concern is that if I started a Patreon, I would not be able to generate enough value to give people a reason to actually support me on Patreon in particular. I'm very much, if I'm going to pay you the money in that sort of a way, like this isn't a mutual aid. I'm fine. You do not need to, you know, I'm not going to need to do donation runs for anything. And I'm very fortunate to be able to say that, to be clear. Because I've supported some mutual aids, and some people are in some really fucking rough situations, and I feel for them immensely. And all I could be is just thankful that I'm not in that kind of a position, and I'll do what I can to help when I can. But yeah, I'm certainly not in that situation. You do not need to support me unless you absolutely want to and can do. And that's a really critical thing for me. And another element to that is, you know, if you are going to support me, you should be... Oh, can we... Just shut up. If you are going to support me, you should absolutely get your money's worth, is how I see it. And my concern is that I don't think I would be able to give more than what I'm currently doing right now, which would really suck, I think, for a lot of people supporting me on the likes of Patreon. If you're, you know, supporting me on Twitch, well, that's fine, because I do the streams regularly. You pay for the streams, I do the streams. It's great. It's a fairly mutual exchange. You pay for my music, you get the music. You get to listen to music whenever you want. Mutual exchange. I don't know if there's much I could give with the Patreon, and that's been my big concern. But I have been assured to some extent that it's not that deep, basically. Like, if people want to support me, like, already, the amount of extra outputs they were going to get for that, you know, whatever additional compensation wasn't going to matter necessarily. It's more of like a really, really nice bonus. And when I think about it some more, I realize I'm being entirely hypocritical myself, because I actually support a lot of people on Patreon. They're not all consistent, you know, creators. Some of them, they take some pretty long breaks. They take a really long time to work on new stuff. And I regard that as perfectly a-okay. And I also understand as well, I think in a big part because it's something that I'm doing this right now. You know, I'm creating media and whatever. I'm creating art to some extent. I totally understand that, like, yeah, you're a person and there's only one of you and you're only able to do so much, especially if, like, you know, it's not your full-time job. And it is important to note as well, like, yeah, this isn't my full-time job. I don't feel like I need to stress that point. I feel like y'all understand that. This would, like, what I'm doing right now would absolutely not pay the bills. But it could get me something nice. I could, the money I've made so far, I can reinvest. Absolutely. There are things I've actually been trying to think about over the past while on, like, how I can utilize what I've made from streams and music in particular, because those are the big earners. how I can utilize those to make more cool things that can have some cool return as well. So I can cycle back into itself. I want it to be really self-sustaining. And once it can be self-sustaining and it pays the bills, that's around the point where you'll see me making announcements saying that this would be my full-time job. That's kind of the goal I have set for myself at the moment, the very long-term goal. This is not good. I am passing out. But we ball. I just hope I don't crash this thing. Should be fine. We might have to take it a little bit easy on some of these roads. This is a 3-hour journey, but they're not expecting the package for a while. I could totally take a rest stop. That's no problem. Yeah. I've been neglecting chat, my apologies. Honestly, under capitalism, when it comes to supporting one's living, the idea of a property mutual exchange is a nice thought and not a lot more. Yeah, I remember the requirements to earn a living is completely made up by the owning class. Yes, yeah. Like, yeah, if it were up to me, every single artist in the world would get universal basic income and possibly like an arts bonus or something, which is apparently something that my country might be... They experimented with it before, but they haven't properly rolled it out. That's something I personally want to enroll in, because that is like as close as I would personally get, for a while at least, to a universal basic income that exists for artists. Yeah, if it were up to me, everyone would fucking have that, and everyone would be able to make wonderful art, and that would just be that. There wouldn't need to be a return. People could just make things, and it would be great. It'd be wonderful. But that isn't how the world works, at least not for me. So I do kind of have to, you know, minimally, I have to take like a software job. I have to do something that actually would, you know, cover me financially, and then, you know, my creative works are second. Do you think it feels good for the driver to pass up behind the wheel? Oh my god. No place cozy in the driver's seat of a long-haul truck. I want the world to be beautiful and transgender and have robots doing our work so we can make awesome art. Yeah. Yeah. That would be nice. But instead we're making robots do the art because, you know, those at the very top are like so insistent that no, artists are the problem. These elitist, highfalutin people telling me to pick up a pencil. No, I have money. I have capital. I don't need to hire an artist. I can make the plagiarism machine do it for me. That's basically my best impression of a rich asshole tech bro. Transgender for everyone. Exactly. You said I could take the yellow lanes, Ivy? I'll give him a look. There's a rest stop right up ahead. That's good. Oh, no. You know what's not good? Was anyone keeping a stopwatch after the drink all the water redeem? I just felt the first tremors. That's not good. That's really not good. Fucking Julia. Oh, hold on, I missed the... Oh, yes, I think I know what you're talking about. Oh, yeah, the Ireland thing where they found out paying people basic income is actually profitable and based, to not a single leftist surprise. Yeah, I read that, like, in shock. Not necessarily because, like, oh, well, obviously. I was in shock that, A, they tried it, and B, they let it run for long enough to actually give it the chance to succeed, and then it ended up paying out enough for it to, like, impress them and go like, oh yeah, we should keep this and actually make it a larger rollout. That's what fucking surprised me the most. I am doing such an illegal maneuver here, but it's fine. Oh. It's fine, the cargo's not damaged, we're fine. But yeah, I was delighted to hear that, and I'm so excited to enroll now, because that would be huge for me. That would be so fucking cool. So, yeah, I'm delighted. it's oh man, yeah. I don't have a super great idea of like what Irish art looks like. I should make that kind of clear. I know we've got lots of musicians, especially a lot of like gig musicians. I know we got a lot of painters, photographers for sure. But specifically people in like my creative mediums, I don't know of that many people. Like every time I see an Irish VTuber, I'm like caught off guard. Because we're a pretty small fry in the world creator space. And don't fucking tell me, oh, but Jacksepticeye. Like, yeah, there are exceptions to the rule. Absolutely. I should note that Jacksepticeye lives in the UK, last I heard. At least for the past couple years has been living in the UK. So not even necessarily adding GDP to Ireland right now. For all I know. Yeah, it's very much a pleasant surprise to hear of other Irish creators in the space that I'm in. But it's not something that I usually expect. So I don't really know what a lot of Irish arts look like and what they pull in. And if what I'm doing would even add a small amount to that in returns. This is part of the reason why I fucking love paying taxes, by the way. Why I'm totally down with the idea of paying taxes. It is the only reason why plans like this can work. Because in a country where you don't pay taxes, I need to make this clear, in a country where you don't pay taxes, this shit wouldn't exist. It would not happen. It would not be feasible. It would be dead on arrival. Do I have to go through? Where? Okay, they were telling me to go through there. I'm not gonna risk it. I'm just gonna go here. But yeah, the only reason that that the fucking basic income for the arts can exist is because the government gets taxes from your income when you sell art. If you are a government that does not take up taxes because, oh, well, our constituents, our voters, don't like paying taxes because they think it's their money and they shouldn't give it to the state, well, then you're not going to have a fucking basic income for the arts because that gets paid by the government when they make tax income on your fucking taxes. There's so many fucking fantastic, like, public services that exist out there that are that are funded purely from taxes, which is why I am so down with paying taxes. The only criteria that I've got, the only complaint I have ever had about taxes is when they are not spent properly. And that is worth complaining about. And I think that's what the central complaint should be anytime people are complaining about taxes. It should not be, oh, I don't like that I pay this much VAT on a product. I don't like how I pay this much on imports. The question should be, okay, with all of this money that the government's getting, what am I getting out of it? What is my country doing for me out of all of this money that I'm giving them? That was so risky. Holy shit. What is this country giving me back for that? That's a fairer, like, argument to be making. And if you're in the States, yeah, I can say we not want to pay taxes then because they're not doing a whole lot. Because the US has really fucking weird policies on, like, not wanting to do anything with taxes, but then wondering why they don't have any money to fund services and stuff. Yeah, anyways. Sorry, I kind of went off on one there, but I feel like it was slightly warranted. Because again, a basic income for the arts would do wonders for me. That plus a software job. I don't care how much the state taxes me on that income. The fact that I can do my software job to, you know, keep a house and food on my family or whatever, but then use my basic income on top of that to fund my artistic endeavors, like, that would be such a fucking huge boon for me. And I would happily pay any tax rate that they give me at that point. It'd be wonderful. With that said, I will re-chat in a moment, but I actually desperately need to piss now after that fucking water redeem, so I'll be right back. Reading the fucking chat. Oh, boy. Let me turn that down a bit. Oh my god. There are exactly 2 paths following this stream. There are exactly 2 paths. One of them is I have the healthiest, cleanest internal system in the world. The second path, liver failure. Or is it kidney? I think it's liver. I think so. Nice one. Whoa. Overjoyed. Oh, yes, I did miss some chat stuff, so let me quickly check the chat. Where do I want to start here? Isn't the telepath line so fun? You don't have to stop. They just, like, charge you going through. All right, sweet, awesome. Channeling the spirit of the Alberta driver once again. Finland, Ireland, who's going to be the third country to give it a shot for a year and then forget about it? Kappa. Oh, from what I hear, they are looking to do it again. I need to, in fact, I'm going to keep a tab open real quick. 1 second. All right. I'll keep, basic income for the arts. What was the deal here? Yeah, they were doing a payment of €325 a week. A fucking week. If you're doing that on top of, like, that doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're doing that on top of a job and living in like a tiny ass apartment, you would handily be able to cover your artistic endeavors off of that. Abso-fucking-lutely. That's crazy. And it was specifically, hold on, the main objective of the scheme is to address the financial instability faced by many working in the arts. It wasn't even necessarily, oh, here's like just some money so you can make art. It was specifically, yeah, we get that a lot of people embarking in artistic endeavors, you know, some will make it financially, some won't because of many factors. Yeah, for shit like this, fuck, absolutely. Tax the shit out of it. Here we are. It was announced in the 2026 budget that the pilot's basic income for the art scheme will be developed into a successor scheme in 2026. The application criteria will be announced and applications will open in 2026. I think I'm going to be refreshing this page every couple like weeks or something. Oh wow, the pilot program is still running, but because it was extended. It ran from 2022 to 2025, has been extended by 6 months to February 2026. Ooh. Ooh. It is February 2026. So I should really be keeping an eye on this in like March and onward by the looks. Interesting. 500 currency units isn't nothing per month. No, this is per week. 326 was it? 325 off by one, whatever. 325, which if I multiply that, let's do times 52 to get weeks in a year. You're getting 16.9 thousand euro, which, okay, like currencies differ quite a bit here. You know, earning capacity and what have you. There's a lot of different factors that will tell you whether 16,000 in your local currency is actually, you know, useful at all. Like, I don't know, if it's yen or something, it might be a little bit less. But for us anyway, fuck yeah, dude. Absolutely. That would be very, very helpful. That could cover rent. Well, if you're in a really cheap place, it could cover rent. So I was thinking about like 16 grand a month. That could easily cover rent, but no, that's per year. That's nothing in USD, but in euro, it's a solid amount. Yeah. That's because US rents are fucking atrocious. To be clear, they're kind of atrocious here too. We need cheaper rents. I looked at like a dingy old place up in like my nearest city that would be like, okay, this would make it reasonably easy to get to work. It wouldn't be as much of a massive fucking hassle to do so. And it still costs like 1.2 grand a month or something. Like, it's not ideal. Think of that income for the arts. That would be all of my money, actually. That would be all of the money if that's all that I was making. So, like, not ideal. Not ideal at all. But software job and that. Now we're talking. I could absolutely cover rent with that. Say no more. Okay, let me butter this in real quick. Whoop. Welcome to Vancouver. Smile. If I got that much in euro, that would cover my rent and bills, but not quite living expenses. Yeah, pretty much. And I'm not in a euro country. Oh, damn. For the record, 1.2 grand is less than my apartment's. Less than what you currently pay? Hold on, I'm confused. Oh, yeah, 1.2 grand is less than what you pay in rent. Okay, sorry, yeah. For some reason, I read that as, like, the opposite, as if it would totally support it. I'm like, what? Yeah, 1.9k rent, that's, yeah. I think for a nice place in my city, that would be 1.9k per month. So, decent point of reference. 15 tons of pears? Don't mind if I do. All right. Give me the cargo. Stick it on me. Let's do this. Oh, wait. Nope. You want this in... Yeah, I can make that. I can do that. No worries. Even with a fuel stop, I can make that. Babe, you're in the pear wriggler. What did I do? What did I do? Chat, she hates me. She's putting me in the pear wiggler. The pear fandom is having a blast right now. Separate issue, rent is theft. So, I have mixed feelings on that. I don't entirely disagree with you, to be clear. I do think everything can have a fair price. I do think that putting a price on someone's place of living is incredibly risky business at best, and is on the worst and often realistic end just outright exploitation. Like if you're like if you're boosting up rent, and this is an argument I hear all of the fucking time from Irish landlords, we have to push up the rent because inflation. I have to feed my family too. It's like, yeah, I have to keep my family in a home, and you're making it like infeasible for me to own the home or stay in the home. Like, fuck you. You're infinitely more of an asshole than I could ever be by complaining about it. Yeah. There's a reason why rent seeking has a negative vibe around it. Things can be rented. Landlords should be illegal. I think, bottom line, everyone should be able to own their home. That is absolute, like, I will not dispute that for 2 seconds. Absolutely everyone should have the means within their lifetime to own a home. By the time that they retire, which, to be clear, should be at a reasonable age, we're talking 60, 70 or something, right? You should be able to own your home, free and clear, do what you want with it, and that's that. And what happens a lot with rent is landlords will hold on to that property for dear life, clutching to it because it's an investment. And I think absolutely we should absolutely not be welcoming investments in people's place of living, the place where they like eat and sleep and whack off and whatever, right? That is absolutely not something that we should be treating as investment opportunities. It is horrible, I think, that so many people will so casually state that, like, oh yeah, I invest in real estate, you know, this is, what is it? It's a great investment for me because, well, everyone needs a house, right? So I'm like, yeah, everyone needs a house. So what the fuck are you doing getting in the way of them owning the house? Why must you be this way? I don't enjoy it when people have subscription plans for software. I am definitely not going to enjoy it when my house is under subscription plan. Because here's the thing. If you... So there are different tiers to it. And this is where I was like, I'm not 100% on either side of the field. Because there are some cases where the rent makes sense. If you are in an apartment as part of a very economical block, to be clear, I admire apartments on like a city infrastructure, like environmental efficiency level. I admire them there. And I think if the apartment is well maintained, if you've actually got, regular maintenance checks, you've got your facilities covered, you're getting your money's worth is basically what I'm getting at. I think that's fair. I think that is reasonable. Give me a nice apartment for like, let's say 800 to 1,000 a month. That would be nearly a third of my income from whatever software job I'd be getting, right? Give me a nice apartment space for that. Frankly, give it to me for less, actually. Fuck it. I'm changing the script. 600 to 800. Let's say that's the high bar. And if that could then cover my utilities, my internet, and like a guy coming in at least once a month just to do like not even once a month even, frankly. Fucking 4 times a year even would be decent. Just to do like a quick maintenance checkup. It's like, okay, we're just going to make sure the plumbing's good. You're going to make sure, you're not going to have sparks flying out of your fuse box. Frankly, if there's ever even a possibility of sparks flying out of your fuse box, we got to replace the fuse box. If they're just decent, then I get rent. That's fine. But I also, this is another thing that I firmly believe, I am perfectly okay personally living in an apartment at my age because I, at this moment, am a single person, or it's like, I would be renting solely for myself, my own place, that all I really need is a bedroom, a bathroom, and a kitchen/living area. That will cover what I need. That's fine. But when I, get on in life and I'm like in my 30s or 40s, I would like to at least be in a house paying off a mortgage minimally, paying off a loan to actually get to the house. And I'm just talking within the current system. I'm not talking about any imaginary thing where mortgages don't exist and rent doesn't exist. Like, that's my point of view with the current world that we live in. That's what I feel is reasonable. I should be in an apartment that's well kept because I would keep it well, This is my place of living. I don't want to treat it like shit, Whoa, fucking hell. We're fine. It's all good. Both of us are going to be working in tech, and I doubt we'll ever own the place we live. I disagree, but I'll admit I'm optimistic. Sure. Yeah, possibly. So, yeah, I think rent makes sense in specific cases, but by and large, towards the end of your working life, if you don't own the home that you're in, that is a failure of the system around you. I will put it that way. I'm admittedly doomery to, my expectations, I get. That's fair. That's reasonable. I'm the kind of person where I will establish a baseline of what I think is fair. Not necessarily easy, but fair. And if that... I consider that my minimum bar for, reason. And if you are beneath that bar, you are underperforming and you need to do better. And yeah, Ireland has been doing a shit job at that. We've been in a housing crisis for years. Almost as long as I've been alive. It's been terrible. And that absolutely needs to change. And our current people in power, the ones that are ultimately calling the shots, we don't have a bipartisan system like the States does. We have, many seats in office held by many different parties, but the grand majority of them are held by 3 big parties that have held power since Ireland became a republic, right? I'm going to cut you off here, truck. Apologies. We've had that going on for longer than I've been alive, many times over. and they've been doing a pretty shit job at running the place. But we do have some... The part of the reason I'm optimistic is because especially, you think of it this way, we are in... It's hard to reason with on account of, most of us, I imagine, are like young adults at oldest, right? Like we're talking late teens to mid 20s. That's what I assume my demographic is, right? We are people who generally grew up in the internet age, where we have this unprecedented ability to share all, not just information, but life experiences. Like the ability to share whatever is going on around you and in your world. It's ridiculously easy. It is so cheap to do so. And as a result, oh my god, this music's just gonna bug me while I'm doing this delivery. Hold on. I am gonna turn that down because I'm trying to make a point here. Options, audio. Yeah, we're just gonna temporarily mute the music. That fine? Yeah, that's fine. So, yeah. We've been exchanging for years how much, housing sucks, the economy sucks, rich people suck, rent seekers, horrible, all sorts of things, right? The, talks of the 1%, eat the rich and all that kind of stuff. These are things that, like, you may not have gotten until much later in your life when you're already, like, sucked into these systems and it's kind of all you know. But these days, I feel like a lot of our generation have grown up not necessarily being part of this world, but we already have this huge understanding of, like, yeah, the world as we know it right now is pretty unfair. And it's not enough to just say, well, that's how it is. Because what? That's such, like, I'm not this negative with a lot of other dialogues, but particularly with the, like, oh, that's just the way it is. Life sucks. Life's hard. I see that as kind of pathetic. I'm like, no, you've given up immediately. You've given up before you've even fucking tried. You can't just say, oh, well, that's just how the world works. Like, you're part of the world. If you're telling me that's how the world works, you are now a part of the problem. Because you've decided you're perfectly okay with this. Even if you are going to complain about it, you're okay with it enough to just let it happen. You're not willing to do anything about it. But because we're brought into this world understanding, for the most part, like, yeah, shit's pretty fucking unfair, and we can do, not just we need to do better, we can do a lot better, because there are places where this isn't necessarily a problem, even if they're small scale, like just, oh, this particular city is super livable. It's like, okay, why aren't we just taking this as a blueprint and just doing this everywhere? Like, there are simple fucking solutions to these problems. And the big difference between now and decades ago is, well, it's all right there in front of us. You can look it up on your phone. Any fucking politician can pull out their phone and look it up and go like, oh, shit. Huh, it's that easy, isn't it? Because it is that fucking easy. If you were a politician who can, like, actually, like, make these big, massive decisions for all of your constituents, for your whole nation in some cases, well, why don't you just fucking do it? And obviously we know why a lot of politicians don't do it, right? There's a lot of reasons for it. But again, because we are in an internet age where everything is so easy to figure out, it's a pretty immediate indictment on you as a politician if with this unprecedented access to information, you've decided, no, we're just going to keep saying it's a very complex issue and kind of call it a day. We're not actually going to do anything about it. Like, everyone's watching you. Everyone can see that you're failing. Everyone can see everyone can enumerate the ways that you are failing. All they have to do is pull out their phone and read the fucking news. It's very, very easy. And that's part of why I'm a lot more optimistic. Because we don't just know that things are wrong. We know all of the different ways that things are wrong. We know how it could be done so much better. And we have a lot more ability to organize, to make that change in a way, if that makes sense. We can protest, we can, you know, rally people together to get in touch with politicians and, you know, try and shift things. And in cases of like complete and utter like corporate moral bankruptcy, like that's a whole other thing. Like we already have protests doing shit like that. That's already being covered. But that's a big part of the reason why I'm more optimistic, because I feel like we have been regarded as the snowflake generation. To be fair, we haven't had a whole lot of power. Us, the snowflakes, have only really been able to post about all of the injustices in the world, but we haven't actually had a finger on the scale. Now, I can legally vote. My finger can now be pushed onto the scale. And if I want to go further, I can join a protest. I can start a protest. I could organize a protest within probably a couple days. Rally a whole bunch of people together. It's like, hey, I tell my friends, it's like, hey, we all care about this issue. Let's actually organize. And then they tell their friends. They tell their friends. And it just spreads out. Word of mouth catches on like fucking wildfire now. You could just organize. You can make change in whatever ways you are physically capable of doing so. And I think a really good indicator of how much power we have is that every time that we do stuff like that, rich people hate it. They hate when we protest. Which is all the more reason why we should protest more, because they hate it. And as we found time and time again, the kind of things that rich people hate are generally the kind of things that we love. You know, like owning our house and having the means to live without being constantly exploited all of the time. You know, basic shit like that. And we've seen time and time again that when nations adopt more, I'm not even going to say left-leaning policy, because I think that makes it partisan, and that's when it gets all weird. Generally, they're regarded as left-leaning policies, but if you just talk about like more people-centric, we'll put it that way, more people-centric policies, it's like, yeah, you know, what are our priorities as a nation? Well, we want our citizens to live in homes and be well-fed and be able to work jobs that fulfill them. And, you know, our strength as a nation is more in, like, our individual strength as people, you know? That builds up, that cycles back into itself. Every nation that's adopted policies like that has flourished. They've been fine. Whoa, that's a bit woke of you. Yeah, God, it's fucking breaking news. Our Melody might be woke. We shan't rule it out yet, but we're getting a feeling, we're getting a sniffer from this stream that she might be woke. Yeah, every nation that has adopted shit like this has thrived under those kinds of policies. So, like, it's not even just we know it could be better. We know exactly how it can be better. So again, every time that someone fails to implement this, like, we know what they failed at. We know the names of the people who failed that. Yes, more left populism, please. Sickos, yes. Yeah, oh my god. I need to start a tally of how many Euro Truck Simulator streams end up getting political. That's really funny. Yeah, that right there is why I'm more optimistic. The fact that you can just fucking post when there is an injustice in the world, as much as that can be just outright annoying sometimes, like, yeah, do we get a little bit over enthusiastic when talking about injustices in the world? Yeah, sure, totally. Not all of us understand the threshold of what, like, actually constitutes getting up in arms over things. But I think, by and large, it's an incredibly powerful tool that we have. And I feel like the new up-and-coming generations are infinitely more aware of what's going on in their world and the worlds around them. and we can use all of these different... Are you fucking serious, bro? We can use all of these different experiences as templates, basically, for what to do and critically what not to do. Threshold fascism as being moderate. We can and should sell socialism as simple, people-centric policy. Bonus, we're actually correct. Yeah, and that's, I mean, another thing is, like, I'm not a big fan of, like, buzzwordy stuff. Like, I'll say, sure, I'm probably a socialist or whatever, but I don't like calling myself a socialist because I feel like that's really reductive and really doesn't get across, like, the actual point that I'm trying to make. I am not a socialist first, I'm a person first, to be clear. Let's knock that one out the park real quick. I am a human being with wants and desires and a life to live, just like everybody fucking else having this discussion, and not, right? And I feel like I should be allowed to live on a fairly equal footing to everyone else, because I don't have such a fucking... I don't have my head so far up my ass that I feel like I should be better than everyone else. I don't want to be a fucking millionaire, because what the fuck's the point of being a millionaire? What do I get out of that? Oh, I get a lot of money so I can, like, buy a lot of things. Well, like, I wouldn't need to do that. I don't feel the need to spend super wastefully. I actually quite like being a little moderate in some of the things that I enjoy. You know, every once in a while it is nice to, like, work within a budget, because it kind of... It does make you appreciate things more. And to have everything, I think, in a way, is kind of also to have nothing. Like, that's another thing that's, like, really confused me for, like, with people who are so obsessed with money and power. It's like, what is that money and power worth when you actually have it all? The only reason this is even, like, interesting to you at all is because everyone else values what you have, and everyone takes you seriously for what you have. Like, oh, I have the most money, so I can just pay people to do what I want. Oh, I have the most assets, so I can... you know, control what people do and dangle these assets over their head like fucking keys, right? Or, oh, I have the biggest armies, so I can, you know, bend a nation's will to my own because, well, otherwise I'll declare martial law or some shit like that. Not like anyone's doing that right now. That would be crazy. That would be ridiculous if anyone did that. But, like, when you're in that kind of a position... At what point, like, what would you do if everyone just stopped taking you seriously? If people decided, okay, well, money is worthless because it is now entirely in the hands of a couple people. It's never actually going to be given to us. We don't get to partake in this game. So we're just not going to play it. And, like, if all of the, you know, the soldiers in the military that are being controlled, what if they just go, well... Our leader's clearly a fucking crock of shit, so we're just not gonna fight their battles. What do you do then? What have you got? What are you? Except a very sad little rich boy that thinks they have it all and gets really upset when people don't, you know, praise you for how much of the all that you have. What are you? No such cases, yay. Yeah, that's been on the mind for a little while. Because I'm like, yeah, all you need to do is just stop taking them seriously. Obviously, just one person doing that isn't going to make a massive difference, but, you know, if that echoes out over time, all you need to start with is one person not taking it seriously. And if you just continue, you know, posting about it, using the power that you have at your disposal, continuing to not take these powers seriously, well then, like, what power do they have? The power they have is control over other people. If you can kind of take that back by just not playing the game. And I have, like, my own personal approaches for how I don't play the game, you know? I err away from streaming services where I can. I like to buy music outright. I specifically really like supporting indie artists through indie labels on indie platforms. the way that I spend my money, I actually prioritize not using my debit card because Visa and MasterCard are awful pieces of shit companies that don't deserve my support. So I err for bank transfer. If crypto weren't the grifty piece of shit that it's unfortunately, you know, devolved into, I would be using that a lot more as well. I'd be paying for a lot more shit like that. And that's not because, you know, a lot of people get into crypto because, ooh, shiny technology. I don't really care as much about that. I care a lot about, hey, this potentially offers an avenue for people to take back that control. They don't have to be beholden to whatever their national currency is with all of its fluctuations and all of the, hey, I will never actually see enough of this in my lifetime to own a home kind of shit. Holy shit, doing 90 through a gas station? I literally just wanted to check it off my map. I'm just getting the map completion bonus from doing that. Yeah, because I don't need fuel. My tank's pretty full. I'm okay. Sure, these terms are just a vehicle for efficient communications. Yeah, sorry, I'm only just getting to that now. Yeah, words like socialism, liberal, whatever, like they're like most labels, they're good at getting the points across when you're short on time. But if you're stuck here for 2.5 hour stream with me, I get to labor all of the points that I specifically hold dear to me, and I don't have to reduce myself to just a fucking label, because it's not particularly useful to do so. A lot of people need to relearn the point of a protest. Yeah, absolutely. Relearn the points and relearn just like how a fucking protest works. For example, if a company's doing bad shit, it's not enough to just go, oh, down with that sort of thing. Like, you actually need to not utilize that company. And sometimes that's really fucking hard, because sometimes that company is deeply entrenched in your life in some way, and it's really, really difficult to get out of it. I'm going to list a plethora of examples right fucking now. Microsoft is a heap of shit company, but maybe all of your game library is on Xbox and none of your Windows applications work on Linux. Sure, yeah, that's a pretty big blocker, and I really hope you're able to get through that at some point in the hopefully near future. But other than that, all I can do is hope for you. If you're like, oh, this particular supermarket chain is like a gross ingredient evil, but also I live in a super rural area where like no small businesses can actually afford to exist because they've been priced out of oblivion, and I only have this chain in order to buy food to put on my table. Yeah, that really sucks. I really hope that there's some local chain that can find a way to compete with you. If that means completely like upending whatever the usual distribution process is, like circumnavigating that in some way. Or circumventing that in some way. I, don't like Spotify because I have a bunch of reasons to not like Spotify. As an artist, it's kind of a crap platform. It has a lot of really decent user-centric features, but for artists, it's kind of a dog shit platform. Like, to be clear, I'm actually not making any Spotify revenue. I have not. I might have made a couple cents since a couple songs hit past 1,000 plays, but only after the songs hit after 1,000 plays. As of a few years ago or something, Spotify introduced a new policy where unless your song gets 1,000 streams, you just don't make revenue, and we collect all of it. Like, that's evil. That's really fucking evil. That's rent-seeking at its fucking divinest, right? Biblical. So, like, if your entire library is on Spotify, I really hope you can navigate out that soon. At least for that, I can really offer you some interesting options. If it's specifically just getting off of Spotify that you want to do, Apple Music is pretty great. IME, it's pretty nice. I hear Tidal's decent. If you're into that. There's other options. I have not really looked at the streaming service landscape because my solution is just buying the shit outright. A lot of the artists that I personally like release their stuff on Bandcamp, which is great because then I can... Hey, if you don't like Bandcamp, wait till Bandcamp Fridays. There's actually one happening February 6th. If you've got shit in your wish list, So February 6th is a fantastic time to buy that because Bandcamp waives their cut of all revenues made on the platform during those days. So that is a fantastic time to support artists while also not giving a penny to Bandcamp if you have some reservation against them. Like, there are options. In some cases, there are options. Sometimes, at least on the, the Windows Linux side of things, maybe the solution is changing your software. And I know, believe me, I know, it's not the easiest thing in the world. Sometimes that's a real fucking pain in the ass. I have personally felt that before. But I've done it, and I've been on Linux since February, and I'm not looking back. I'm never going back to Windows. I have no fucking reason to use Windows. Every time I'm forced to use a Windows machine, I feel sadder. Like, I'm in a pretty good position there. I've compensated by getting a Mac, but my reservations with Microsoft are very different to Apple. I don't like Apple for a whole bunch of reasons. That's something I've not been able to navigate yet. That doesn't mean I'm not still looking. I'm very interested in migrating my entire production pipeline to Linux as soon as possible. But that takes time and a lot of learning new software and possibly upending my entire workflow. It doesn't come without a cost, but the benefits that I would get out of it far exceed it, I feel. Apple has become the lesser evil? Yeah. Yeah, at least they're not, like, outright just providing, resources to a genocidal military, I don't know if I want to say dictatorship, but from what I've heard of their political history, basically a dictatorship. It's not great over there. And Microsoft just casually feeding into it, while also, I mean, I'm not going to have an AI conversation right now, but yeah, you compare that to Apple that's pretty much reluctantly jumped on AI just because their shareholders were down their throat. And you can tell visibly on the surface that they, like, Apple has a way when they're making features, when they're finally getting around to designing features that other platforms have had for years, they really like to do it their way, and they like to polish it up for their platforms, for their services, so that it just works really, really nicely. And then Apple Intelligence came out, and it just completely flipped the script. It was a janky, busted piece of garbage, and nobody really enjoyed it. It was kind of slopware, and that was that. It's very unusual for Apple to do that, and I feel like that's demonstrative of their lack of optimism for the AI space. But yeah, if your employer refuses to raise your wages third year in a row, or just fired a quarter of your colleagues, maybe a few of your remaining colleagues refuse to work for a while, something changes. Yes, abso-fucking-lutely. Workers' strikes. They work. They really do work. Sometimes there are a lot of casualties. And I'm not going to say for a second that that's not important. That is incredibly important. I feel like that would almost be even more reason to continue with the protest. Because here's the way that I see it. I don't think corporations are people. I think they're more like animals. In a very feral, primal, territorial dominance kind of way. And when you threaten their territory or their food or what have you, the animal will snarl. And those sudden, out-of-nowhere layoffs conveniently circling around a protest or a union or anything of that sort, that's a snarl. That is the company saying, I am threatened by you, I do not like what you are doing, and I'm going to threaten you because I am scared by this. That means it is working. That means you should do this. You should continue doing it until they finally back off and, cave to your demands. Because at the end of the day, the company is not the fucking be-all end-all. The people working for the company are the be-all end-all. The company would be nothing without its workers. And okay, we're doing a slight AI tangent, actually, I've decided. That's why AI is so big with, big shots at the top of companies, the C-suite guys. They fucking love AI. Because remember how I just said, the workers are the actual backbone of the company, and without it, they would cease to exist? that's a problem for them. That's a liability. And it would be really nice for the companies if they just could, you know, fire everyone and just replace it with, you know, algorithms that'll just do all the work for them. Because then they don't have to pay AI a fair wage. They don't have to give it compensation or benefits or any basic decency or respect. You know, it's very easy for them to lean into that. So the trick really is reminding them that, like, hey, no, actually, you kind of do need us. Your funny little algorithm can't actually carry the entire weight of this company on its back. It can maybe pretend to for a little while, because that's what it's good at. It's good at mimicking existing things. But the second you want to, like, exist long term, if that's your actual end goal, you might not want to lean on the AI side of things. Yeah. Anyways. If you couldn't tell, I have some strong thoughts on that. Something change up the way you engage with music and start buying CDs and Bandcamp exclusively. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting to these really, really late. I talked about Bandcamp like 20 minutes ago or something. Yeah. Bandcamp, physical media. I feel like Bandcamp's almost easier because then you can circumvent like postal services if yours is like particularly bad or whatever. Like, you know, we live in the internet age where we are able to share fucking anything we want. So, you know, it's a pretty good place to do digital distribution. But if you really want physical media, you can absolutely do physical media. Yeah, it still supports the artist pretty directly. I joke, but I literally did this. Yeah, I literally do this too. I haven't only bought physical media because I don't feel as much of a need to physically own a copy. The digital one is, it already does everything functionally that I could ever want it to do. So I'm happy with my digital downloads. And then I'll keep on my servers. I'll back them up. I buy extra drives so I can back them up more, and then we're good. Oh shit, that'll be time for me to buy the backlist of Violet Pony tracks. Huge. Opinion on Mirlo, the Bandcamp alternative. I have never heard of this. That does not ring a bell at all. I'm curious though. If it's what I'm thinking of, I have heard of like a sort of self-hostable, like instance-based Bandcamp, where you host your own thing and it's like just for you, or maybe a small fleet of artists or whatever. I'm otherwise not very familiar, no. eBay.ca, search band CD, my freaking beloved. Huge. Absolutely. Definitely. That was a very, very long left-wing rant. I feel somewhat warranted though, because we're hitting a breaking point. I feel like the pot is boiling really fucking hot right now, depending on where you are, and it can only do that for so long until it explodes. So what are we doing? Okay, you were turning that way. Sure, whatever, bro. That's fine. Ari woke. Ari based girl. I appreciate it. A CD is kind of just a way to download music through the mail for me, but like I do love them so much. Yeah, absolutely. Like, yeah, if you like physical media, fucking get on that physical media. That's perfectly fine. Because, I mean, shit, physically owning a copy of the thing, like, believe me, I understand the value to it. I personally just don't really share that excitement, I guess. But I know a bunch of friends who do, and I respect the fuck out of that. Like, yeah, get your fucking physical media. Get this copy that, like, the only way that anyone could take this from you is by coming to your house and robbing it from you. And hey, you know, at least on, like, digital licenses where apparently ownership is, like, super conditional, you know, you can actually go to the fucking police or something if someone comes into your house and robs you, which is generally reliable. Again, kind of depending on where you are. But yeah, Physical media is really good at that. I'm personally less concerned about someone breaking into my home. I would have all sorts of other problems to deal with other than my, you know, physical copy of an album I really like. Ooh. And another thing that personally I am a little concerned with, like if I were to do CD stuff, is I can't really hand roll that at home. I kind of always have to work through a third party, which is fine if the third party is like super chill and whatever, but if they ever stop being super chill, that could be a problem for me because I wouldn't want to do business with them anymore, and that could like cease production for all I know. Oh, interesting. I don't recall seeing a flag up there. Must have missed it. Anyways, we are so over time, so I'm actually gonna park myself in a rest stop real quick. I definitely do. Has exactly 12 CDs. Oh, I love my physical media. Looks at my collection of books. Huge. Yeah. Fuck it. You just like enjoying books? Fuck e-readers. Go buy the book. That's a funny thing as well, actually. Like, iPods are like pretty neat from their time, right? Do they have a limited capacity compared to the boundless options to stream platforms? Yeah, sure. But like, were you really going to listen to like several hundred albums worth of music on your morning commute or whatever? I'd be very fucking impressed if you actually did, but let's be real, you're probably not. You can store plenty for what you need to do on, you know, this one little gadget MP3 device or whatever. So, especially when it comes to a book, you have to spend quite a bit of time going through that book. Just bring a book. You don't need a whole tablet that has every book imaginable on it. And if it's like, oh, well, I don't really know what book I want to read. Well, that's where planning comes in. And you just kind of like, you know, you plan. I'm going to very quickly just head over to this other site because I'm kind of curious what's going on over there. And I want to, you know, mark it yellow on my map. Doo-doo-doo. I love CDs, but I wish there were more download stores so I can get lossless, DRM free. Again, Bandcamp is pretty fucking good for that, in my experience. And again, if you don't want to support Bandcamp, Bandcamp Fridays, baby, is the way to go. February 6th. If you don't already have a copy of Free to Play, fantastic time to get it. I get almost every cent. PayPal takes a cut. That's actually something that I'm super buggy about. Bandcamp only supports PayPal, which fucking blows. I don't remember. I think actually you don't have to pay with PayPal, but I get paid through PayPal. That is the only way in which I accrue revenues. Bandcamp are working on that, so I hear. They are looking to do, I think it's through Stripe, direct debit transfers, I think, which is awesome, but literally could not come soon enough, and I'm annoyed with every day I do not have an email in my inbox telling me that they've finally gone and done it. Like, that annoys the shit out of me. I'm totally going the wrong way, but it's fine. Well, it's not, it's illegal, but, you know, I'm only parking. No one else is here. Like, yeah. I think I had mentioned before with, yeah, I don't like Visa or MasterCard. I don't like PayPal either. And for that reason, if I can opt for a direct bank transfer, that's the way to go. I bought Hightail that way. I paid for Hightail using a direct like SEPA bank transfer. It was great. I strongly recommend it if it's an option available to you, because it's a hell of a lot fucking better. Holy shit. Y'all can't see that, actually. One moment. Let me... Oh my god, really? Are we doing this? Yeah, okay, cool. Let's go to monitor capture instead. Hello? What? Cursor, please? Uh-huh. Check that out. We started on like 30 grand? Okay. So you know what's funny? When that prediction was happening, I actually had a funny idea in the back of my mind. I was going to cheese it. I was going to pay off the loan, but by just guessing another loan and paying it off that way. But here I can just... And I'm free and clear, baby. Easy as that. I owe no one. My company is in a very good spot. That is remarkable. Everyone gets their points. Imagine if it worked like that IRL. How do you think, like, actual rich people do this? That's literally the Jeff Bezos method. He will take a massive loan from a bank to pay off another massive loan from another bank.
It's time to drink water.
Oh God, don't tell me.
It's time to drink water.
Indeed, it is time to drink water. You know the deal. If you have water with you, you should drink it. If you don't have water, you should go get some, because water's good for you. Oh boy. Oh, no more water. Not for tonight. I think I've had enough water this stream, thanks. Love that window between paying off all your debt and incurring more debt. Yeah. And then when they die, it's all tax-free. Exactly! I meant like getting a loan, doing your thing for a few weeks, and paying it off fully and being clear and owning something. Hold on, let me reread that. Getting a loan, doing your thing for a few weeks, and paying it off fully, and being clear and owning something. Oh. I think I get what you mean. Yeah. Oh boy. The bands I listen to aren't on Bandcamp because of parasites called record labels. That sucks. In those cases, I've heard Cubas. I don't know how it's fucking spelt. I think it's Cobas with a Q. Is apparently pretty decent. They seem to have offerings from like major record labels included, which is really nice. I've not used them personally because again, I'm mostly indie artists on Bandcamp, but yeah. I love CDs, but there's also microbes that can eat them, which is scary. Oh my god. That's the fun part. Finding a book you find interesting. Exactly. Just to pick a random SD card with part of your music collection on it and stick it in your device for the week. Wish we still lived in that world. We kind of do. Sometimes you just gotta buy older tech. Because sometimes it's not, like, the old tech isn't worse. Sometimes the old tech was just fucking better. Not all the time. So, like, technology has evolved and in an upwards direction. But, you know, it takes a while. I love how this income is like slowly growing. They still can't hold a candle to what I can make in a day, but they're doing numbers. They're doing numbers. I respect that. Level 8 too, my god. What is their skill training focused on? Long distance. Yes, and I think that's their focus as well. Yeah, they're doing the long haul deliveries. Mm-hmm. Should probably get them on high value then afterwards. Get a long distance high value run. Fucking perfect. Oh babe, I didn't tell you, but I rode past a Mercedes dealership in Vancouver and heard your voice say Mercedes. I know exactly what you're talking about. Being able to do that with a truck or a shop or office, not a small item like a washing machine. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I get what you mean. Yes, guessing a loan for a project or a venture, committing to that venture and then paying off the loan fully with that venture. Yeah. Honestly, I want to do that with like my own projects, to be honest. Because I could do some really ambitious shit if I got like loan money. But I would definitely need to make sure it's like something that could pay off, you know? But if I could do that and then pay off that loan and then afterwards reap the rewards of, you know, recurring revenues after the fact, fucking brilliant. That's amazing. That's great. I gotta have 4 different badges at some point. I'm gonna have more badge than username. Real. Hey, why did you make this poor fuck drive a Renault? Because it was cheap. Actually, no, this Renault is actually like super fucking spiff and clean. Because this is one that I bought at like a 2-star used like rating. And it was in shit states. The dude refused to drive it because he kept telling me it was broken. I had to repair this thing to nearly 100%. This Renault Premium was almost in a better position than my own truck. It was horrible. But there's no useless AI in my old tech, sob. It's got 1,000,000 kilometers on it, and you know what? It's gonna drive 1,000,000 more. It's perfect. God, these guys are all in old fucking beaters. I have stopped buying trucks with this level, I should note. Like, eventually I'll probably be able to afford to get this guy a new one or whatever. What I might want to do, actually, once I let's just say, like, Zurich. Yeah, funny. They all start on pretty low ratings, actually, and that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, what I would like to do is hire on another guy, but they don't have a truck for me to put them in, so I do need to then also get a used truck. But it'd be cool to, like, fill out the garage that I've got, because I still have one more slot available to me, I believe. Yeah, 4 out of 5 trucks, 4 out of 5 drivers, so I can fit another person in here, and that would be pretty awesome. So, like, what would be, I don't know, filtering to at least, you know, 3-star. Honestly, I might just, for safety, go 4-star. Well, that's really pricey. Let's say I get this Scania. This is probably fine. It's got decent mileage, but, like, yeah, makes sense. It's either that or I go for, like, this 4-star Iveco or something. It is in pretty good condition for what it's worth. Way more fucking mileage, though. My God. Yeah, that... Actually, wait. It's cheaper to get this one. The Mercedes-Benz one. That's interesting. You know what? I'll probably go for the DAF. Oh, but the Fed Boy. Oh, my God. 119. Holy shit. Hello. Welcome. Good to see you. Hold on. Now I gotta check something real quick. Okay. Right, I didn't expect that, which is really interesting because I was actually about to wrap up, but I'm like, oh, I don't know, for just the next little bit, that might be worth. I might just have to, I don't know, go in a little bit late or something. Yeah, hello everyone. My goodness. Big group of raiders. How y'all doing? What do we say? At least one more trip? One more trip? Fuck it, we're gonna do one more trip. I think we could do one more trip. Oh no, another delivery. Oh, that's a shame. Oh well, I guess we have to go all the way to Stuttgart. Oh no, my lobster is too buttery. Back in the wheel we go. Oh yeah, for anyone new, this is my truck, custom skinned. You can thank Ivy in chat for this. Don't mind the back of the truck. It's fine. We got a whole bunch of little doodles over here. You may recognize them from the bottom right corner of your screen. All right, yeah, we're gonna do another one. Let's go. Let's go collect this shipment. Record numbers. There's nothing on the back. Exactly, there's nothing on the back. It's fine. Everything is A-okay. 120 viewers and are all perfectly silent. Ideal chat. It's the most respectful raid I've ever seen in my life. And all gone? Are they? 133? Nah, we're good. We are fine. Let's go. 5 tons of medical equipment? Say no more. I love that. 100 lurkers. Hi! Beautiful. Man, you missed the super big rant that went on for like a solid hour and a half or something about politics and stuff. If that's your spice, you gotta come in for the next Monday trucking stream, but if that's not your spice, well, you're in luck because you missed it. We should not be in sub-only mode? You know what? I'll actually double check that. It is not. Okay, thank you for checking. Yeah, I'll just make absolutely certain on my end. Did I fully stop? Why did I full stop? That's weird. Alright. On the road again. No minimum time in chat before being able to interact? I don't think so. I think maybe your account has to be a minimum age, or maybe I'm getting that conflated with my Discord server settings. I think I am. It's a good question. Someone should definitely, I don't know, shoot a DM to like one of the mods or something if that is the problem, because oops, I need to fix that, because that's actually really bad for raids. Actually, thinking of it, I think we have had other raids where actually people have been able to talk immediately, and I've never seen them before. So, I don't know. I presume it's not an issue. I want to make sure everyone feels nice and accommodated. Verification requirement. The likelihood of over 100 people not having verified Twitch accounts is kind of unlikely, but then again, I'm pretty sure Twitch doesn't have my phone number. Oh, they got my home address, but I mean, I'm also an affiliate, so they kind of need that for tax purposes minimally. Whoa, whoa! Okay, we're fine. No worries. Just a big-ass truck nearly turning into me. We ball. I am sending it down this road at like double the speed limit. Yeah, fuck it, we're skipping the red. LOL! Twitch is my home address, billing address. They have both, actually. Twitch's tax forms do require you to fill out both. The W8BEN form, I think? Honestly, one more job wouldn't be too bad. I wouldn't mind having over 10 grand after paying off that massive honker of a loan. Yeah. Anyways, what are we shipping again? 5 tons of medical equipment to Stuttgart. A company called Stokes. How long we got? 4 in-game hours. That's not going to take too long. Yeah, we're fine. We're definitely tapping the 3-hour mark with this one, but we'll live. Actually, funny thing, here's an interesting story. I'm running out of storage on my NAS to store my stream VODs. For those of you who don't know, I have 4 terabytes of usable storage on my NAS, and I started streaming in May. I have built up over half a terabyte of streams just in 2025 alone. And between that and more streams and other things I put on the NAS, it's gotten quite hefty. A lot of that is like movies and shows and stuff, so I think what I'm gonna have to do is offload a whole bunch of stuff. It's fine, I can, copy that stuff back later or what have you, but for now, I think I want to prioritize making sure I've got my streams in full quality, because that's like infinitely more valuable to me. That's all. Rookie number, 16 terabyte Seagate Exos. In my defense, I was building my NAS in its current state on a bit of a budget. I was not working a software job yet. That was a very big difference. The raid viewers dropped off? Really? How many? What are we at now? We're to 16 again. I mean, 16's still pretty good, not gonna lie. Every one of them left. They probably, I'll put it this way. I have not gotten into a habit of doing raids yet. I actually really want to, but I have not done so yet. And I feel like it would be a little bit of a shock to the system if I did. I feel like a lot of people are watching these streams. I mean, especially if you're in my time zone, you gotta go to bed soon. So like, if I'm ending the stream, you, much like me, are probably getting ready to go to bed if you're not fucking in bed already. So it makes sense that a lot of people will probably be dropping off. I have no idea what their situation is, though. They hate me. They hate Space Girls. That's so unfortunate. My secret shame is that I have never stayed around after being part of a raid. Once or twice, I think, like ever, have I meaningfully stayed around. In almost any other cases, because I had the browser tab open and I like left it alone for a bit. That is usually the case. But that said, I'm not a super active Twitch stream viewer also. because a lot of my time is split between, certainly right now, college, personal life stuff, sleep, and streaming myself. So I haven't really had much allowance to do so. Hilariously, while I was employed, I had a lot more time, and that's I mean, that's a common trend, isn't it? I've been talking about that a lot of the stream. How I have so much more time during like normal fucking clock in, clock out work hours than I do with college. College is a bit soul sucking in that way. I can't wait to be done with it. I'm so glad I'm in my final semester. And then there is, like, once the exams are done, I do not need to walk back into that building. Well, maybe for a graduation ceremony, maybe. I've got a very... I don't have the most positive perception of my college at the moment after the semesters that I have had with them. So a big part of me is wondering, do I even want to go back to them for a graduation ceremony, or do I just want to get the hell out of there and never come back? I don't know. Yet to be seen. Sometimes I have raid consolidations happen. Interesting. Whoa, my god! Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Nothing happened. Nothing went wrong. It's actually perfectly fine. I've been raided exactly once and done a raid exactly once. Tell you what, if I were to raid tonight, would you? How many of y'all would actually stick? I'm curious. That is an interesting question. No shame if it's a no, by the way, because I mean, I've already made my point clear, right? I would not stick. I'm hungry. Alright, you're quite literally the only streamer I watch. If I try to watch anyone else, the ads make me leave immediately. I appreciate it. I'm running my blog post on the side. I'd stay for like forever. Depends on sleep I feel. That's real. I definitely would not be able to stick around for it because I'm already vastly over time. And I'm going to have an interesting time sleeping tonight. Shout out to Julia for making Ari's stream bearable. Fuck you. Thank you, Julia, though. For I know the only reason you could afford that is because of the amount of financial support you've given the streams, and I appreciate those immensely. Come to think of it, I still have, I have a debt to settle with Julia, actually. She has paid me for services that I have not completed yet, and I do need to do that. It is a public service, to be clear. It's not like a weird personal thing. I'm just being coy because it's funny. 1 hour is basically 0 hours when you have ADHD. TVH, you're also the only streamer I watch. I usually struggle a lot with streams rhythm. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. For me, it was like, I can watch a video that's like well produced and like everything's compacted in and whatnot, and I can get more bang for the buck time-wise, if that makes sense. And I would just do that while, like, maybe I'd have the video in the background, but a lot of the times it's in the foreground. It's like, okay, this is time I'm spending not working on something, which I value quite a bit. So I try to make it like worth the while if I can. And sometimes a stream feels like, depending on the person, it seems like a pretty decent investment. Sometimes not necessarily. Also, I'm going 129 and 80. Fucking hell. That redeem and the ensuing results of it were the hardest I've laughed all day. Oh my god, yeah, that was that was something. That's gonna be great to clip out. It's gonna be, actually, yeah, because here's the thing. Whoa, I'm not just clipping that for you guys. I mostly make clips for people who don't already watch the streams. The idea is to get new people in. So I wonder how I can convey the significance of a drink all the water redeem. I would probably have to do like snippets of water redeems done throughout past streams or something, which will be interesting. I'll have to figure that part out, but you know, we'll make it work. I think I have some methods I can use to make that suck a little less. I'll try the streams sometimes, but I definitely tune to your streams much more consistently than anyone else, and I appreciate it. Do I make the joke again, chat? 129 and 80 isn't even that crazy if you're my dad. Oh dear. Let the record reflect that I am only speeding this hard because I'm in a video game, and I would not do this in real life. Mostly because I don't have a license and can't legally drive regardless, but also because I'd like to not die on the road. It is within my best interest to not die on the road. There are many ways to die, and on the road is not one that I aspire to. Our streams are just a vibe. I appreciate the fuck out of that, honestly. That is what I go for. I actually... Oh, we might get a little heartfelt here, maybe. It's a little heart-to-heart, in a way. I was actually discussing with Julia specifically. I was... Oh my god, do you have to brake check me? Miserable asshole. Was that actually a brake check, or did the speed limit just change? I swear it's been 80 the whole time. They totally brake checked me. That's nuts. Ari Space Go best streamer confirmed. Aw. I appreciate that. What was I saying? Yes. So I was discussing Alberta driver behavior. We're so back. Yeah, so I was discussing with Julia. I was going through... that's a lot of what I've been doing the past few... Unless I'm like working on something else or doing something else. I have been going through stream VODs, even partially, just to get like, you know, thumbnails for the VOD uploads and whatnot. And one that I was particularly interested in was the stream for Soma. For those of you who don't remember or weren't there, during October, I deemed it Spooky Month, so I had to play a bunch of horror games, which is not usually my wheelhouse. It's not usually a comfort area for me. But I was like, you know what? It's Halloween. We gotta get in the spirit. We gotta get festive. We're gonna play some horror games. It's gonna be fun. And I played Signalis for the first half of the month, and it was great. It was a little rough sometimes, but I made it work. And it was very enjoyable, and I don't regret playing it at all. It was a wonderful game. You should play it yourself. Absolutely. But after that, amidst, you know, a mid-month trucking break as well, because of course I had to do that, I went to go play Soma, and the intent was to play Soma to completion. I could not. I knew... Oh... I don't even know exactly how far into the game. Maybe 20 minutes or something. I knew, like, yeah, this isn't... This is going to be rough. This is going to be really rough for me if I continue this. And as I got further into the game, it became increasingly obvious to me this isn't going to be sustainable. Like, the way that this game fucks with my mind and the state that it was in... I didn't have anything crazy personal going on. It was mostly actually HRT, fucking with hormones and stuff. I was notably more heightened than I used to be. I've settled a lot now, which is great, but I still think even if I went back to it now, it would be more than I am necessarily built to bear. And I found that very disappointing. I was kind of gutted by it, and I was very apologetic as well. Because when I wrapped up the stream, I committed. It's like, okay, no. We have started the stream playing Soma. I am going to play for the full 2 hours. And at the next major save point, then I will call it. And from that point, I will have achieved my personal goal. I can call it there, and I can at least be satisfied that I did that. I set a goal for myself, and then I went for it, and I did it. And that would be great. And unfortunately after that I then had to say, it's like, okay, yeah, sorry, we're not gonna be able to do more of this game. I'm gonna have to switch to something else because Soma's too much for me, unfortunately. And it took me a while to process like deeper thoughts on that, but coming back to it recently, coming back to that stream, I gave it some more pause and thought about exactly like why it was so disappointing. And it was in large part because like the streams are fun for me, sure, but you know, a stream to no viewers is barely a stream at all. You know, if a tree falls and no one's around to hear it, did it make a sound? You know, that deal. So ultimately I do the streams for people to watch, for y'all to watch. And something I've come to respect a lot, while we have like a whole, you know, you make a funny compilation all the live long day about these YouTubers who scream a lot at video games when they get spooked and whatever. But when you actually like watch these people for like a long period of time, people who are putting themselves through, well, oh my god, I'm not reversing properly today, who are putting themselves through all sorts of trials and tribulations for the sake of getting through the game and showing that experience to everyone. Why can't I reverse now? There we go. Yeah, so they put themselves through all of that for the viewers, for everyone watching, because that's important to them. And I have a lot of respect for that. In particular, because, you know, I just watched Iron Lung. Markiplier came to mind as, ooh, I have a skill point. Let me quickly... high value. Screw it, it's 30%. Let's do extra high value. Oh, that face. I just check what Soma is, and yeah, I can see that would have been very enjoyable. Exactly. But yeah, I really respect what the likes of Markiplier have done over his career. It has been in large part playing a whole bunch of horror games and putting himself through hell, at least on my personal like level or whatever. I kind of redeem that as hell in a way, or regard that as hell. So I have a lot of respect for him putting himself through that for the sake of the viewers. And one big thing that I respect a lot is not just that like, oh, he plays a spooky game so you don't have to. He plays the games but also acts as like a grounding point. Like, you are being like taken along through this super scary game, but you're not going in alone. You have this personality here, this person who is not telling you it's okay necessarily, but kind of brings you back to earth in a way, where it's like, yeah, we're going through this and it's really scary, but it's fine because I'm taking care of it, you know? I'm playing through the game. You can stop watching at any point, but if you ever feel like coming back, I'll still be here, and you can still go through this and, like, you know, get a little spook in and whatever, and you don't have to hard commit yourself to laboring through what could be a really emotionally strenuous position for you to be in. And I have a lot of respect for that, so I think in a way I was really trying to emulate that in some way. And the kind of unfortunate realization was, I don't think I can. Not in that way. Not in that specific circumstance. Because I'm not built to the same stuff. So, yeah, unfortunately I wasn't able to do that. And I'm not going to beat myself up over it at all, believe me. It was unfortunate, but... you know, I can still, you know, be a kind of character going through whatever other games and whatever, and it can still be a fun time. So, yeah, kind of tripped through that last little bit there, but hopefully you get the idea of what I'm trying to throw down. But yeah, I was listening to my voice at the end of that stream, and you can tell I'm a mix of like gutted and kind of drained, and it like really it hurt in a way. I was very thankful I could get through Signalis, but the only reason I was able to get through Signalis was actually because of, you know, you guys kind of helping carry me through that. Knowing that it was such a a blast for a lot of people watching to have me play through it and being able to see my reactions to it and like exploring this world with all the cool characters and whatever. That made it a lot easier actually to power through it. So I'm very thankful for that. But yeah, anyways. That as an outro for sure. I think we are going to wrap it up from this point. That's exactly why I love the Signalis stream. Yeah. It was great. It was delightful. And actually, yeah, I will quickly show this again because this is really, really fucking cool. Let me go and enable this. There we go. Here we are.
It's time to drink water.
Oh my god.
It's time to drink water.
I need the bathroom now. This is cruel. I'm gonna drink now. All right, you know the deal. If you have water with you, you should drink it. If you don't have water, you should go get some, because water's good for you. I'm gonna die. Right, anyways. This is the RMLD Live VODs channel. Up until, like, the birthday jamboree, the very first jamboree that was streamed on the 27th of July, there had been a indefinite hiatus on VODs because my VODs were way more highly produced than they ever had the need to be. And in more recent months, I have been trying to figure out a way that I can get the VOD uploads back in flow, back in operation. And my solution to that has been an automation tool that I've been working on, and it's done, basically. A couple little tweaks here and there that I might want to make on occasion. But it is working. It is in production now, and it is fucking incredible. If you want to see how incredible it has been in operation, only semi-manually running in the background, for the past 3 or so days. This is the last stream that was available up until, you know, past August. Here's all of the new ones that are live right now, and here's all the new ones that are coming up over the next couple weeks. We have the beginning of Outer Wilds. We have the first Euro Truck Simulator streams. We have Jamboree number 3. We have all of Signalis ready to go. By the end of February, you will have all of Signalis ready to watch from the beginning, and it's going to be fucking wonderful. Let me go through the rest of the list here, because there's actually... Those are just the ones that are ready to go. There are a bunch of others that are really, really close, but just don't have thumbnails yet. And those are the ones that I'm not showing right now, but I will pull those up, just to give you an idea for what is still yet to come. Obviously, the rest of Outer Wilds, that's uploaded. It just needs thumbnails. Like, we're good. The... Jamboree number 4, the Halloween Jamboree, that was repo. That's going live. The Soma stream, that's also going live. Even more Euro Truck Simulator VODs, because of course, if you want to watch trucking anytime, anywhere, there will be literally hours of me playing Euro Truck Simulator available. And probably a lot of very funny dialogue. If you want to get the points where I'm like most chatty and talking about background stuff, find like the initial half-hour period of a lot of streams and or truck simulator streams. Those are the ones where I get like really deep into shit. Yeah, we have a lot coming out and it's very exciting. And that's like everything up until and not including the November Jamboree is uploaded. They just need thumbnails and they're good to go. Like sending it. From here, it's still going to be piss easy because after November is December, and there were only like 5 or 6 streams done during that month because I was super busy with college stuff. That'll take no time to do. January, I started at the second half of the month. Not many streams to cover, perfectly fine. And we're just starting February. This is, I think, the first stream of February. So we're in a really, really good spot. So I'm jazzed. We're going to have backlog cleared really fucking soon, and I'm incredibly excited about that. So yeah, I don't expect this to like perform or do anything, but if y'all want to, like the reason this channel exists is for archive purposes, so that anyone can come back to old streams, past, present, and future, and just play through them and just see it. Anything that they missed, anything that they are, you know, curious about, something I would have played before, they missed that stream entirely. like say that they only fucking came to this channel after like long after me playing it. Let's say people who want to watch me play Signalis now and didn't even know I played Signalis until today. Those are going to be available very soon. So it's very, very exciting. So I hope y'all find that cool as well, because I'm so jazzed. I'm so jazzed. Even the thumbnail stuff I was talking about, that's a process I'm looking to. I can't fully automate it, but I am looking to streamline it a lot more and make it infinitely easier for me to upload those in the future. But for now, we're in a really good spot, and I'm very excited. Oh yeah, also Voxel Eras. In case y'all missed Voxel Eras stuff, really, really cool indie game. The basic sales pitch for it is, if you love Buildcraft, you'll love Voxel Eras. Definitely recommend picking up Voxel Eras, or if you feel like watching the streams on it. The all 4 parts will be available by February 8th. We already have part 1 available today. Part 2 will be coming out in 2 days, February 4th. Yeah. Very, very cool. I'm jazzed. I'm excited. This is going to make uploading streams so much fucking easier for me, which is great, because we then don't have to rely on Twitch archives all as much, because those are very much ephemeral, whereas YouTube, I can put everything up on here with a pretty thumbnail, with a bunch of metadata. It's fantastic. It's great. So yeah, I'm excited. And with that, I think we call it for the night. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. It has been a pleasure as always. I'm running to the bathroom the second I wrap this up, but yeah. Everyone, have a lovely rest of your night. Lovely rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever it is you hail from. And that is all for the night. Bye-bye!